my
obviously
gosh.
because I wasn't driving, so I wasn't paying attention at all. I was like, are we in Mexico? What's going on? What's happening
We're
right
in
now?
cartoon Mexico.
Bingo. That's the best way to describe that
And
place.
dude, because I've like grown up around it kind of like my whole life, I've watched those fiberglass statues of like chickens and
Yeah.
dinosaurs change colors because they paint them every so often.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm just like so attracted to this stupid place. And my mom hates it. She's like, that's the worst, like, because she's from there. She's like, don't carry that bag that says that around town. They're gonna think you like it there. I'm like, I do like it there.
Welcome to LSD, Life, Song, and Death podcast, where I, Kaylee Smith, talk to folks about the most psychedelic trip called the human existence. Today, I have a nail. How do you describe yourself?
Nail tech. I say
nail tech.
Nail tech, nail artist interchangeably.
Okay, nail artist. I like that the best. Nail artist from Richmond. Her name is Anna, and we were already talking about K-pop and but I've been watching The Devil's Plan recently.
Is that a K-drama?
It's not a drama. It's a game show. And it makes me feel absolutely stupid.
Is it what channel is it on?
It's on Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
Wow, channel. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Well, I almost said platform, but then I was like, channel and platform are the same thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like the platform is the channel of today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I guess YouTube has channels.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, The Devil's Plan is like it's like a game show. They are on season 2 right now. It's so addicting. It's ridiculous because they always put you on a cliffhanger right at the end.
Of course.
but one thing I love about it, it's different than like typical American shows, is that the episodes are not exactly the same length every time.
Oh really? Like
Yeah,
one will
dude.
be like 45 minutes, and the other one will be an hour or something.
Well, no, it's way better than that.
Oh.
The quietest. The shortest one has been an hour. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. So each one's like an hour and a half or like an hour and 20
These are
minutes.
like movies.
Yeah.
Welcome to movie game show.
It's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it's dangerous though because
Do they have celebrities on it, or is it like everyday regular people?
Well, for me, they're everyday regular people. Maybe for you who know Korean culture,
That might be some people I might recognize. Okay.
Yeah. There was like the first one had I think 2 pop stars.
Ooh, okay, I'll have to look into
I don't know who they were.
All right.
But I don't know it at all. All I know is one. I don't even know his name. Dang it.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick because
nice. I actually had a friend once. There was it was a Japanese game show, but one of my friends from college messaged me.
Those are so funny.
What?
Japanese game shows.
Right. Like a silent library.
Oh my god, the best.
But my friend texted me like, "Oh my god, Anna, my favorite K-pop group, their name is SHINee," and he was like, "Anna, Minho from SHINee is on the game show I'm watching." I was like, "Oh." Yay! I'm known as the SHINee person. People text me about the SHINee members now.
SHINee. How do you spell that?
SHINEE. So it looks like shinny.
Okay.
But SHINee.
Yeah. Jungkook.
Kim Jong-kook? John Jung-kook.
I guess.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, from BTS?
Yeah. I think,
oh, dude. Yeah. Okay.
I think that was from BTS.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, that's a really famous person.
I don't I said.
No. I mean that since like, oh wow, that game show pulled a really famous person.
Oh no. No, that's the only Korean pop star that I know.
Oh, okay. He wasn't on the game show.
No, unfortunately.
I'm like, wow, that game show's doing something.
Yeah, but they had like the -- Go player.
Okay, yeah. It's like chess, but like Asian chess.
Yeah, it's like you have. It's kind of like white and black, and you have to flip them, and then.
I don't know how that game works at all. I just know what it is.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you have like if it's anything that I had a game like the American version is called Othello, but each one you have cat a corner. You start with 4, and you're just literally trying to overtake your next player.
Okay.
So if you go on the outside of your opponents, then that whole line becomes yours.
Okay.
And then it's a strategy game because you want to get
you have to get all the rows or something.
yeah, you try to cover the board
Okay.
with your color. And
while they're actively taking your pieces too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so for the longest time, computers couldn't beat people. And then back, I don't remember what year, but it was probably 5-ish years ago.
I remember this.
Yeah.
They
the AI beat it.
Yeah.
The AI beat humans, and that one's called AlphaGo. And then the second iteration definitely couldn't lose to a human, and then this guy came in and then beat the computer.
Oh,
yeah,
we're back on top.
Yeah, dude. Gives us hope.
Skynet, don't come for us yet.
Yeah, dude. I think I've talked about Terminator almost every episode.
It's the Roman Empire, Terminator.
For sure. Yeah, we're on the click to the top of the roller coaster before we go down.
Oh, exactly. I actually, back to Terminator. I helped my mom's friend move a bed into her nephew who lives right next to her house, and he comes out the house, and I didn't see him from the front at first, but I just saw him from the back, and he had this shirt with the sleeves cut off, and this is like rural North Carolina.
Okay.
I'd never met this guy before, and I'm like, whoa, because he looked kind of hard, and then the back of his shirt says the line from Terminator, but it's like F you, or now I can't think of the line correct, but from the back I just saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, his shirt says F you, but like the F-U-C-K. Like,
yeah.
I don't curse. It's like,
okay.
Sometimes I do, but
if you get angry enough or drunk
if I
enough,
get angry enough, but in typical conversation, I'm like, F you. But it says like, yeah, F you, mother effer, or whatever. And then he turned around, and on the front of the shirt, it was the Terminator. I was like, oh,
yes.
He's not vulgar. He's a pop culture aficionado.
Yes. So there you go.
Man, but I did like that.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting topic to go down real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You say you don't curse. Is there a reason behind that?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
And it involves both my mom and my dad, interestingly enough. My dad was, both my parents I would consider pretty not prim and proper, but like my dad was a little bit more polite than my mom is. And so my mom cursed a lot, and my dad didn't. And my dad passed away when I was 8th grade. That's 14. So, yeah, 14.
Depends on who you ask.
Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I skipped 8th grade and went right into 9th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was at 14. Yeah, I was 14.
You were 17 when you graduated high school?
16.
Yeah. One of my freshman roommates at George Mason was 16.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always like, whoa.
Yeah, you're like, you literally can't do anything.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. Everyone's 18 around you. Like, they're like, let's go to that club in D.C. And she was like, no.
No, you said William and Mary?
George Mason.
George Mason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Same colors, though.
That's what it is.
Uh-huh.
My brain is color things.
Yeah, there you go. But my dad, he like didn't curse. He actually, like, when I was growing up, stupid was as bad as the F word in our household.
Wow.
But my mom would curse, and my dad would just be like, "Oh, Joan, don't be so like it wasn't like he put that. There was no like rule over my mom, like she couldn't do that too or something. But
that's a good person.
But right. But my mom was always like the one that was like kind of more like would say like, damn it.
Yeah.
And so like I guess and then so I think because of that, like that kind of made me just naturally not want to, because my dad was like, oh, don't say that, and I listened to my parents. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then 6th grade hits, and I had this frenemy in my life.
You said frenemy?
Frenemy.
Okay.
Yes. So, like she's still kind of in my life, but very in the outskirts. 6th grade comes, everyone wants to say crap. And I was like, ew, that's a gross word. Why would you want to say, like, oh, crap, when you're mad? And I was like, that's disgusting. Like, why would you say that? It sounds bad. But that was, like, the gateway word to, F you and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And so I started saying crud instead of crap. because I was like, this is a good segue word. Like, I'll say things adjacent to the cursing. It's like, I'll say F you,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say, like, the S word. But, or crud. And my license plate's actually crud 91.
Nice.
Yeah.
So did they just want to just have a clean vocabulary? Was there like a religious aspect to it, or
No, not really.
no?
My dad was just, my dad came from a household of 3 boys and 2 scientist parents.
Okay.
Like, my grandmother was a, I don't know exactly, she was a research chemist for some company
Mm-hmm.
in like the 60s, like 50s and 60s. And my grandfather on that side was an entomologist, and he worked for pesticide companies like PPG, I think. Was
Okay.
the one. So I think just coming from like a educational household on his end
Yep.
kind of made that because and my dad was like the favorite kid. I was like, how do I say this? I don't want my Uncle Ted to see
You
this.
heard that there. She
I'm sorry,
said
Uncle
it.
Ted. You're really nice. I love you a lot.
Still doesn't make you the favorite, even if Anna loves you a lot.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, my dad was just kind of like the golden child, if you will. And but he wasn't like an oppressively golden child. Like, to me at least. I didn't see that. If you asked Uncle Ted, I'm sure he'd be like, yes, he was.
Of course.
Oh god. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of educated people, like super educated people that they just
it just like naturally makes them prim and proper almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they use words that are this big, and it's like, okay.
That's exactly it. Okay, definitely probably came from a place of like, you're above that.
Yeah.
Think of something better. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So where were we? We got off of that tangent. I think we were talking about. I don't even know.
K-pop.
Yep.
Back to K-pop. I'm just kidding.
We'll talk about K-pop all night long. I'll learn about K-pop by the end of the night.
LSDK.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's so great.
Also, the song I picked is not K-pop.
Okay.
So I'm excited. I thought long and hard about this song.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so were you born here in Richmond?
I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
And we moved when I was like not a year old yet to Williamsburg. And I lived in Williamsburg. So yeah, William and Mary.
Yeah.
Till I was 5, and then 5 years old, I came to Richmond. So I consider myself a Virginian.
Yeah, I would consider yourself a Virginian.
Yeah.
You barely remember anything before that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But my mom's parents, my mom's from rural North Carolina. Like we've helped her friend, the Terminator kid guy. And I like I like specifically that one town in North Carolina that she's from. Like, I love going there, but I hate the rest of North Carolina. I'm sorry to all North Carolinians. Wait, you're not from North Carolina, are you? Okay.
No, I'm born and raised here, but
Nice.
yeah, that's just hilarious that you're just like, I hate all of North Carolina.
Except for that town. But
What made that town so special then?
Something that makes me like things is like, does the sunlight hit it well? And I've just always thought like the way the sun hits that place, like that's why I like a certain room in a house. Like, oh, the sunlight in this room is just perfect. Like,
I'm gonna start calling you Mufasa instead of Anna from here on out.
Everything the sunlight touches.
Yep.
Is mine.
It's
my favorite.
Yeah. Yikes.
But yeah, I think it's like the coloration. I also like flat. I have this thing where maybe it has to do with being I like balance. Flatness, it's like balance almost. And I have this thing where I'm gonna probably say I have this thing 40 times.
That's fine.
But I have this
we
thing
all have
where,
this thing.
Thank you. I have this concept in my head that I don't like mountains because half the day one side of the mountain is dark, and I'm scared of the dark. So that's why I like flat things. In rural eastern North Carolina, because let me specify, this town, it's called Fairmont, in case anyone wants to go. It's rural North Carolina on the eastern side, and it's about 20 minutes away from south of the border. Have you ever been?
I've been to south of the border.
Yeah.
Not as an adult. But
not if you haven't been since you're an adult. It's probably the same.
It's probably the same. What are we talking
Well,
about?
when you went, was the amusement park still kind of up and running when you went?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not there anymore.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
The best part, you can still go up in the hat though.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just when I was going down to Myrtle Beach when I was in elementary school, and we stopped by there, and I was like, "Where are we?"
Oh my
Obviously,
gosh.
because I wasn't driving, so I
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention at all. I was like, Are we in Mexico? What's going on? What's happening
We're
right
in
now?"
cartoon Mexico.
Bingo! That's the best way to describe that
And
place.
dude, because I've like grown up around it kind of like my whole life, I've watched those fiberglass statues of like chickens and
Yeah.
dinosaurs change colors because they paint them every so often.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm just like so attracted to this stupid place. And my mom hates it. She's like, that's the worst, like, because she's from there. She's like, don't carry that bag that says that around town. They're gonna think you like it there. I'm like, I like it there.
Do, yeah.
She's like, we can't let the townsfolk know.
Yeah, south of the border, dude, that was a trippy place because I was a kid. So I was just like,
Mhm.
where are we?
Yeah, and then everything, like, because I mentioned the amusement park because it had this ride that literally you sat in a sombrero, and the sombrero was like a scrambler. And it, like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, how did they have the funds to make everything sombrero themed? I just don't get it.
Because
Gosh.
people like me buy switchblades and whips.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got
I
all
was-
the things you need for real going down to Mexico.
Yeah,
I
as a
don't know.
7-year-old.
My gosh.
Yeah, I accidentally almost whipped myself in the face when I got back.
Those I also have with a whip bought at south of the border, accidentally like whipped like right here.
Yeah.
You gotta not hold it a certain way, and I did not know that.
Nah.
It does not come with instructions.
No, it's like here's the whip.
Just learn. You'll learn. If
Yeah.
it hits you, you learn.
Yeah, learn how to not get hit. So okay, so you were in Richmond at 5 and been here ever
Mhm.
since, besides
Yes.
going to Nova for college.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nova meaning Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia. The great NOVA.
Yeah.
I will say though, when I was in college, I constantly would be like, oh, I just want to go back to Richmond and hang out. And then like when I graduated college and I came back here, I was like, where's the good restaurants?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have good restaurants.
We're
But-
getting it's like the cultural diversity of restaurants is not the same.
Correct.
But we do have good restaurants, and we've
Yes.
always had good restaurants.
Yep, and they pop up and drop off
Yeah.
as quickly as the weather changes.
Gosh, do you remember Carmela's that was in Shaco Bottom? Like
I didn't frequent Chaco.
Bottom.
Yeah.
Well, when did it? It was there for like two or 3 years. And
Where was it? Was it on
right
Main?
next to Hot Chick.
That's once again.
Didn't go
I
there.
did. I
Do
you're
you know what it is though?
No.
No. Okay. Well,
No.
17th Street.
Okay, 17th and what?
Right where that little place where they have the moon market is. 17th and Main.
There's Main.
Main and 17th.
Okay. Okay.
So it's
Sweet.
right where the train station is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carmela's Pizza was there, and I loved that place. Me and my ex-boyfriend used to go there all the time, and it was so good. And yeah, it just like, and that's the first time I realized like I think these people just started this restaurant as a concept because it was popular all the time. I don't
Yeah.
think that they closed it because it was not doing well. I think they closed it because like conceptually, conceptually like the owners were just like we've done it already. Now we're ready to close it. Like that's kind of how I interpreted. I don't know why they closed it, but in my head I was like, that must be why they closed because the owners were just ready to be done.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready for the pizza to be done.
I don't think anyone's ready, except for that one pizza spot on Main. That thing is open all 24 hours.
The pizza place?
I guess.
I think they with the neon.
Yeah,
black
it's
and
on
the
a corner.
neon. Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
cash only still in 2025. I was like, these guys are gangsters.
What is this up front for? Maybe it's not, and they just like the way that it looks.
Yeah,
Feels
it's like Anne's.
Or Asante's Pizza over by on Broad by the Whole Foods over there. Do you know? I've never been to Asante's Pizza, but it's kind of the same vibe. Like dirty, old, hasn't renovated in like 10 plus years.
Near
like,
the Whole Foods. It's on the same side as Whole
Opposite
Foods.
side.
Opposite side. Okay.
it
So that used to be near. That's like near like Hops and Pies or something.
Yeah, Pies and Pints.
That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of close
Pies
to that,
and
but
Pints.
it's a little bit further up. Like, or it's in like it was where like if you remember where the Hong Kong Taylor's was, it's like right next to that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't venture out much.
You're close enough with Pies and Pints.
Yeah.
It was over there. Asante, it's still there. So when you're around there,
Oh, sweet.
yeah, look for Asante's Pizza, and you'll get the this is a front vibes.
There's a bunch of those in Richmond.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
How many more can we think of?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch of Chinese restaurants that are just takeout, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, there's this one Chinese takeout place over by where I live. Because I'm South Side. Go South Side. Have you ever lived on the South Side?
Yeah, I was born and raised over there.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what high school did you go to?
I was homeschooled.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I was homeschooled, so I went to John Tyler.
Okay.
Actually, for my high school.
Oh, like okay, because
Yeah.
they do like the thing where
Yeah, dual enrollment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
what district were you? Do you know?
It would have been George With.
Oh,
Or
okay.
yeah, I was just inside the
Just
city
inside the
limits.
city. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I was like Hall Street and Chippenham, and then.
Okay, yeah.
So I was just inside. So I either would have went there or would have went to Huguenot.
Oh, you were really
And
close
both
to
of
me.
those I would have died in, or at least got
Or
shanked.
you would have been the strongest.
Yeah.
You would have come out the strongest.
Yeah, I am the White Panther.
No, a dude from my high school. I went to James River, and I grew up in Bon Air. Like if you know where the Bon Air Library is, that
Yep.
neighborhood. A guy from my neighborhood actually, he got kicked out of James River. Ended up going to Huguenot. I think he joined the football team and ended up graduating 6th in their class or something. That's a rumor I heard, and this guy would nowhere near have graduated 6th in our class at James River. And I was like, well,
dude.
dang, he moved up.
I mean, well, there was a fight every other day at at Huguenot.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
George With was definitely a fight every day. It had to
yeah.
been.
So my first job ever was Dollar Tree, the one at Willow Lawn, and
Yep.
one of the assistant
That
managers
thing's still there, rocking out.
Well, actually, no, the Dollar Tree's gone. It's a Five Below now.
Oh right.
Yeah, I was like, I
They
can't believe
upgraded?
it's gone. It's now Five Below and an Ulta, but
They upgraded from $1 to $5. I love it. We're gonna move up in this world.
But
5X.
My assistant manager, she went to George With, and I remember her saying, she was like, the only reason I passed most of my classes is because my teachers would give me B's simply because I didn't yell at them or throw things at them. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, we didn't do any work. But if you weren't mean to the teachers would just pass you. And
What school is this?
George With.
George With.
And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Like that concept never even dawned on me that could be like that. Like I was just like, oh my God, like you just didn't do work and got B.
Yeah.
But then again, she was a great manager. I'm still friends with her on Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, I was very similar. I didn't do much work and passed a bunch of stuff. But that was just because I guess I was just able to remember shit very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so
You must be good. Are you good at history?
I could be.
Well,
I don't know. I didn't really do much with it.
One day. Well, what classes did you take at John Tyler? Like
All the basics.
Okay.
So I graduated with two classes short of an associate's degree.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Because I hated school so much. Yeah, so my
School,
first semester, I was 14. My brother was 16 and a half. So he was going to do his junior and senior year there.
Uh-huh.
They were like, here, go hang out with Tim in these couple classes, which was Bio 101 and English 101. And I got A's in those. And so they were like, all right, you're going full time next semester.
And it was too much.
No.
Oh, okay.
And I just went full time for the rest of it.
Okay, nice.
And so, so I went. So because I did just 2 classes the first semester, and then 3 classes at home. Well, I would have been 3 classes then.
Oh.
3 classes short of an associate's degree.
Okay. Was it like? Did you have like did the associate's degrees have like concentrations or like majors or?
Technically, yeah. Yeah. So I was technically associates of applied arts,
Applied arts. So like
focusing on photography.
Okay. Yeah. I majored in painting at George Mason.
Yep. So it would have been photography, and then I was 16 at that time, and got in the wrong crowd that I wasn't supposed to be in, and smoked a lot of weed that year.
What's that? No, I'm just kidding.
What's weed? Crud.
I'm just
Yeah. Smoked a lot of weed, and and then I went to a party and got all of my equipment stolen because I had it in my bag with me. And
all your photography stuff?
yeah. So I was 16, and then so I was like, well, I don't have the money to buy any more stuff, so I just went off on a different tangent. Started working after I graduated.
Okay.
Yep.
But now you got 2 cameras.
I do have 2 cameras because I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I grew up.
There you go.
I make money now.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's what just happened. So for like the last 10 years, I've done just entrepreneurial stuff outside of trying to build businesses outside of working for other people. And then during the pandemic, I went full time just working for myself.
Oh, nice.
In gig work, and I'm so scared to go back working for someone.
I think about that all the time.
It freaks me out.
So yeah, I left the nail salon that I started doing nails in 2015 at Gold Star Nails in Chester. Go check them out. But when did I leave? I've been doing this for 4 years. No, wait. This will be the 10th year. Yeah. So 4 years ago. What's 4 years ago?
21.
21.
Depending on what part of the year.
But it was around then when I ended up creating my LLC and deciding to do it by myself. And oh God, I think all the time if I moved cities, like I know I could work in a salon again, but the thing that makes me the most angry is having to wear like dress code clothes.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my God. The idea that some person would stand over me and go, your shoes aren't polite enough or something. I would be like, oh, just leave me alone. Yeah.
That's wearing a uniform freaks me out.
Not to spook you.
Yeah, not like that kind of freak me out. Just like the thought of it's just like it's the same concept of
just like roll your eyes
of me and death. It's just like, oh, I can't even think about that because it's just like I don't want to even go there, but I might have to when I move to Austin for a little bit. But
oh, you're gonna move to Austin?
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay. Have you been to Texas before?
I flew into Dallas and then spent some time in Fort Worth.
Okay, dude, me too. The only place I've ever been in Texas is Dallas, Fort Worth area.
Yeah. Yep, Dallas, Fort Worth, and then give me a second. Yeah, and then I'm not going anywhere, buddy. Yeah, Benny. He'll probably pop up sometime. But yeah, Dallas. So then went into Fort Worth. I didn't spend any time in Dallas though. So Fort Worth, and then went to. How many times can I say Fort Worth in this sentence?
Fort Worth.
There you go. You're adding to it. Yeah. Then I went to like a lot of East Texas. I think I wasn't driving, so I was just doing AV for. This was back when I was in end of high school. So like end of high school, typical high school years, so like 17, 18 time frame. I was just doing AV for a pastor friend of mine. He was doing like a 3-week tour, and he's like, "I'll pay for all your stuff." And I was like, "Hell!"
Like he was doing a tour at different churches.
Yeah, so he was like a worship leader or whatever, and so I was like, "So you needed someone that he can trust."
I know you won't take my stuff.
Well, but also trust to know what it sounds that will sound good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because if you're going into anybody's at church, he knows that he knows the sound. I know the sound that he was wanting.
Okay.
And yeah,
it makes more sense.
Yeah. So I was basically the sound engineer for him. So we went for 3 weeks just all over Texas and yeah. So I went to I know one of the towns was Lubbock.
I've heard that.
I don't know where it is.
Did you go to Abilene?
Abilene.
Yeah.
Yep. Abilene. That was another
town
one
that you've ever seen.
Yep. Yeah. Abilene and Lubbock are the 2 towns that I know. Everywhere else I don't know anywhere.
Word.
Yep.
Finally meeting somebody that's been to Abilene.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we spent the most time there outside of Fort Worth. We spent like 2 days in Fort Worth, but
Did you get Whataburger?
yeah, of course. Yeah, he took me there.
Well, not good.
Yeah. Just piss off all of the Texans before I get there. Thank you.
Yes.
She said it, not me. Yeah, but Whataburger is no. I'm just kidding. Whataburger can go kick rocks. It's also all you West Coasters. In-N-Out can go kick rocks too.
Well, okay. The only time, yeah, In-N-Out's very whatever to me. But the only time, so I went to LA this past weekend.
Oh yeah, right.
For K-pop, but I I was only there for the entire day of Sunday, and I put way too much in that day. Like I was in Redondo Beach. I met my friend in Burbank. That's an hour away from Redondo Beach. I took the bus back because I wanted to go to this pop-up that was happening at a K-pop store in Koreatown. I made it work, but there was like a crunch time where my phone was on it was on 10% when I got off the bus. There was an In-N-Out, and I didn't know there was going to be In-N-Out right there. I just got off the bus and knew I had to call an Uber from there to my hotel place because there was no feasible way to get there faster. And I walked into the not a Whataburger. I walked into the In-N-Out, and I was like, I'm dying of thirst. And their extra large drink, it's like a big gulp, but big solid drink. And I was just like, can I get the extra large? And they have pink lemonade. And I was like, I want the half and half diet pink lemonade, regular pink lemonade. And oh god, I probably drank that thing in 10 seconds. Like I was just sitting there like
a diet pink lemonade. What kind of brand is this?
I don't know. It's just like the In-N-Out brand. It came, when you're in I was about to say King's Dominion, Chick-fil-A, and like the lemonade things are just kind of like,
oh yeah,
it looked like that.
Okay, but it's pink. Cool.
And I just sat there with that giant pink lemonade and waited for the Uber, and my phone died right as I got in the Uber.
Of course.
And then I had to go back, charge my phone, but I made it to that K-pop concert, and I saw my favorite K-pop star.
Who is
for me to know and you to find. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
His name is Kim Ki-bum. Do I have a picture of him? I don't think I have a picture of him on my journal. I might have a picture of him in here.
Wow, look at all those.
Oh yeah, this is I do my I've been doing fan art for about 10 years, but I recently have gone into the realm of deco collaging.
What is that?
It's where it's basically like scrapbooking, but I'll try to hold it up. It's like scrapbooking kind of, but like you get cutesy pictures and you cut out K-pop stars. Do I have any pictures of him in here?
I like that. I like the coloration of that last one.
Back here?
Yeah.
Or
no, that one.
This one?
Left one.
Left. This one.
No.
This one.
That left. The left one. Yeah. Oh, you're a nail artist, so your left is right and right is left. So I'll give you that.
Okay.
I'll give you that. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you the out. No.
My left. Okay.
No, my left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm giving you the out on that one.
My gracious.
Yeah. Yeah, like that makes me feel so good when I look at that.
Yeah.
The aesthetics of that is so good.
Awesome. Thanks. That's a album cutout and strategically placed stickers. I recently have learned through Discord, which I've never. Are you on Discord?
Kind of,
yeah. So
I have the app.
There we go. I learned on Discord that there is this whole scene of girls that are into group ordering specially made stickers from like Asia and
Temu.
Kind of. Well, there's these like girls on Instagram that are like based in like, well, I don't know if they're girls. There's people on Instagram.
Yeah.
That are based in like
AI
Korea
bots.
and Tokyo. Yeah.
They're AI bots.
The AI bots, and they make stickers like what's a good word for this? They're like bespoke sticker makers almost, and like you can organize these group orders and ship them over. It's honestly like a little bit more than I like to think about, because like all these, like they make these stickers that are like ribbons. I would cut out my own ribbon stickers before I bought like ones like that, but I'm still looking for Key Bum. Where is he?
Do you say Key Bump?
Key Bumps. Yeah.
I was like, no, I mean, what kind of artist are we talking about?
No, his name is well, his stage name is Key, but his name is Kibum. It's spelled Key. I'm probably not saying it completely right, like Kibum.
Yeah.
But Kibum or Beom, depending on who you're talking to. But I used to have this joke back in the day. I'd be like, key bumps for key bum.
Yeah. How long has that person been artisting? Been a music artist?
Key bum. He started in 2008. Which is crazy to think that because Shiny started in 2008. He's in Shiny. And like,
wait, Shiny's a group?
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I thought Shiny was a single person.
Nope. Shiny is 5 boys.
Okay.
But he.
Hopefully not boys. Are they actual boys?
They're men.
Okay, good. Like, you got a lot of photos of boys in your.
They are men. This
Men,
is
okay.
classical art. Thank you very much.
Good. Yes.
I don't think I actually have any pictures of Kiki in here. That makes me feel stupid that he's my favorite one. He's not even in here.
Hey, that's okay. I fully understand that because my favorite artist and music producer is John Bellion. And
Who is he? What kind of music does he do?
well, oh boy.
Or does he produce for like bigger people? Or
Yeah, that K-pop artist that I just told you
Oh,
about.
he worked with Jungkook?
Yeah, that's I'll show you that song afterwards.
Okay. Did he just do one song on that golden album?
I think so.
Oh, word. Okay.
You recognize the album?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
That's so great.
Yeah, I gotta keep up with all the. I try to keep up with.
Oh
all
yeah,
the
Golden
things.
Album. See, I don't pay attention. I just yeah. He was the music producer for this one.
Okay. Oh, standing next to you. Standing next to you.
You're so good.
Yep,
It's so
yep.
good. Yeah. And but anyways, yeah. Only thing I know about. I don't do anything about with John Bellion except for his music and then his interviews,
Okay.
and even more about his interviews because he does very very few of them
Oh,
on
okay.
purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he? You know, but he's not one of those ones that like wears a mask, so you don't know what he looks
No,
like.
no.
Not like
no.
Daft Punk or something.
No. He's amazing. You probably actually recognize him if you saw him. But yeah, he actually wrote the melody for Monster, Eminem, and
Juice WRLD.
no, way older.
Oh.
I'm friends with a monster.
Oh.
Yeah,
That
I was like,
one.
I can't sing it too much
That
because then I get
one.
demonetized. But yeah, when I get monetized, come on, baby, start monetizing. But yeah. So he wrote that melody.
Okay. Is that Rihanna?
I think it's Rihanna.
Yeah.
I always get Rihanna and another artist mixed up. But yeah, it's Rihanna and Eminem, I think.
Because they had more than one song together, I believe.
Rihanna and Eminem.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Definitely yes.
Yeah.
Definitely yes. But
So he made that melody. Okay.
yeah, he wrote that melody in a castle, and because they were doing
Wait,
it.
is he European?
No, he's from New York,
Oh, okay.
from Long Island.
Oh, I love Long Island. Do you know the show Growing Pains?
I know the name.
Yes. Kirk Cameron was on it.
That's hilarious.
With Kirk Cameron and the guy who he's the dad of that famous singer.
Wow, that's very descriptive.
Alan Thicke. There we go. Alan Thicke. Alan Thicke and Kirk Cameron. It's based in Long Island.
I was like, the dad of that famous singer. That could be
Robin Thicke is his son.
Yeah.
God, no, but that's you said Long Island, and I was like, oh, you know what I've been thinking about with Long Island? That show's based in Long Island. So when I'm at work, I don't have when I change locations, the only thing that this new location I work at didn't come with is Wi-Fi. And I was gifted a TV from my last landlord. And I used to play music videos on it throughout the day. But when you don't have Wi-Fi, you can't play music videos on your TV. So I put a antenna on the TV.
Old school, baby. Let's
Ooh,
go.
Yes. And there's this channel called Rewind TV. It's one of ABC's channels. And so I am now obsessed with their like daytime lineup. And Growing Pains comes on from 1 to 2 p.m. And I'm just like all about their. I think that like I love Growing Pains. This is my plug for Growing Pains. Go watch it. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Teaches you a lot about life.
Okay, so you went to school. I'm gonna reel us in a little
Yes.
bit because I want to know more about you as well.
Okay.
Hey, this is great. I'm having a blast.
Yes.
So you went to school for painting,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And that was
did you
it.
go into anything with that?
Painting nails?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course.
No, so yeah, I had the I did not go to college with my major decided. I kind of in the back of my
most people
mind
don't.
always knew that I'd be majoring in art just because I wasn't interested in anything else.
Okay, yeah.
And I was lucky enough that my parents had done the Virginia College prepaid, and
What is that?
It's like this thing is a fund you pay into, and it pays for your tuition for.
And every time you curse, it comes out of that into the swear jar.
Yes.
Now we understand why.
Now we get that. I didn't want to say it, but you figured it out.
Damn. Well, there goes
Dude,
my
that'd
child.
be a good thing for parents to tell her, if you curse, your Virginia College prepaid is going to go down the drain.
Because it's going to go from this account into the swear jar.
No, and then you're going to have to go to cursing school.
It's AKA boarding school.
Okay. But the reason I say that is because, like, I don't know, I feel really happy that I was able. My parents weren't like, well, my dad had passed away by then, but my mom wasn't like, you have to major in like anything, like, which I was happy about. And I fully went through all of college not thinking, like, not really knowing what I was gonna do with it.
Yeah.
But I also kind of, before I left high school, liked the idea of doing nails, but didn't know how I was gonna, because the tech center, the Chesterfield Tech Center would come like every year and be like, hey, like, have you guys thought about what you want to do after high school? Like, you could go to Tech Center and get all these certificates. And I remember when I saw nail tech, I was like, oh wow. And I was just always like, I always liked looking at the magazines they had in there, and I always loved the, like, you've walked past nail salons. Sometimes,
oh yeah,
back in the day, not so much anymore, but back in the day, they'd have like a thing, and it would have like nail samples on it.
Yep.
And I would walk past them and just be enamored with them. I was like, oh, these are so beautiful. Like, and so when the tech center came to the high school and was like, you could do this, I was like, oh my God, that sounds amazing.
That's so wild because I have never had that thought.
Really? About
like,
anything or just nails?
No. All right, this podcast is going to be going just for you. Now I'm going to go leave.
Hi, guys. K-pop. Back to K-pop.
Yes.
No, just kidding.
No, I've just never thought that deeply into nails, like, at all.
Yes.
Like, I just clip mine and I'm good.
I think it was less that it was nails, because I definitely realized very quickly when I did start working at the nail salon, like, I would tell people, like, I'm not into this for the maintenance of your nails. Like,
hey.
I'm into this because I like creating something I like to look at, which is pretty selfish, but, you know, at the end of the day,
they're gonna get the best product.
So it's selfish to come to a nail salon in a strip mall and think that we can solve your ingrown toe problem.
Yeah, you gotta
that's
go
a doctor's job, and then you can maybe come to us and you tell us, hey, watch out for this, and I'll be like, okay. But when you're like, dig this out, I'm like,
yep.
Feed me a fancy dinner.
That's all it takes.
I don't know. Like, I mean, what's my price for making someone bleed and my license is on the line? A steak dinner.
Yeah, I had that for dinner tonight, so you know.
Oh, yeah, it comes back around.
Boom. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I now I was that way with hair though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that why you and Taylor vibe?
Yeah. Taylor's my hairstylist.
And mine too. We both have our hair done by Taylor. Check it out.
I actually got mine done yesterday. It looks way worse than it was when I walked out, because she's way better at doing it than mine. But I am. But you know, it looks amazing still. Yeah, no, but all throughout high school, I was always like, I had all sorts of crazy hair.
Okay.
Every different color it could be, and then every different style, and minus the long ones because that takes a while. But
true.
Yeah.
Did you have like this scene, or were you like?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely, I will. Yeah, absolutely, I did. Keep talking, but yeah. So you were at. I'll pull it up and you'll laugh hysterically.
Oh, good. I'm excited.
So you fell in love with nails.
Yes. And like the whole time I was in college, I kind of like weirdly low key knew in the back of my head, I think I'm gonna go get a nail tech license after college. But college was
What's the requirement for that?
Um, if it's still what it was when I got the license, it's like, oh god, I don't even remember. It's like 125. It's the one of the like shortest beauty licenses you can get other than just an eyebrow waxer. And just an eyebrow waxer is like different than an esthetician who does other waxing and stuff like that. But like nail tech's like the shortest amount of credit hours, or what do they call it when you like
is it based
residency hours?
Okay.
You know
so
what
it's
I mean?
so is it based off of just time working?
Yeah, that, and you do have to take some classes. I think I took like 6 or 10 classes at the owner of the nail salon I ended up working at. His wife owned a school for that.
That's cool.
That's how I found their nail salon. I walked in. I visited one other beauty school before that, and I honestly picked them because they were the closest to my house, and because they were like my old boss's wife was like, you can just go work at my husband's salon, like, and literally like the day I applied to go to that school, she was like, you can go there right now today and go and work right now. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
Dang.
And I did pretty much.
Let's go.
Let's go. Diving in. But I really liked working at the nail salon. Like, once I started doing nails and like less on the pedicure end of it, like.
Okay, what's the difference?
Well, I mean, when you, at least with the place where I started, like if you didn't know anything and you were just coming in fresh, like he would have you watch a few people, then you would maybe start with a manicure, maybe, but you would start with a pedicure, and he would only discount the service 50% off one time, and then after you did that, he'd be like, "You're full price, go." And looking back, I'm like, if I tried to do that now, I feel like I'd be scared. But back then, I was just like, okay, I can do this. Maybe I'd still be like that, but when I remember the time, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I wasn't more scared.
Like working on new people.
Yeah, just people that walk in there looking for a regular pedicure, and then they get me, and I've done it like twice.
I mean, you gotta learn by trial by fire.
That is true.
It's especially with that kind of thing.
And I also oh, and one of the first things the owner's wife asked me when I came into the school was, are you good with your hands? Like, is your handwriting good, and can you draw in the lines in like a coloring book? Are you good at like painting? And I was like, yes to all those things. She was like, oh, you'll do fine. I was like, okay, cool. But I did end up helping her with some of the classes before they sold the school. And I did see what she meant. Like, girls would come in there and
they had
like,
Parkinson's.
Yes. No, I don't know. And I'm also just not a good teacher either, because like sometimes I'm like, I don't know how to tell you to control your hand better. I think you just have to naturally know how to do that.
You either have a steady hand or you don't.
Yes. And some girls just didn't, and I would watch them get upset, and I'd be like, it's okay, you just don't do nails, do waxing. Or not even that, I don't know. Maybe do something else entirely. But not because you're bad at it, because your hand shakes. Which doesn't mean you're bad at it, just means you're shaky.
Oh, here we go. There's a photo for you. Here's a photo.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Weirdly, that picture, you look older to me in that than you do like looking at you now.
Let's see.
And it's blonde. That's great.
I told you, I have all sorts of different hair colors. They can't see it, but whatever.
Yes.
And then here's another one for you. Let's see. It's a little bit better. And maybe not. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Oh, there we go. That's a better one. That's blurry as well, but.
I mean, oh my gosh, I like that one the best.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I like how I was like, did you have this? And you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. Oh, that's the best one. I wish I could pull it. I don't know how to insert photos into things yet because I'm doing all my editing, but there you go.
Oh my gosh, good, very good.
Oh yeah, focus in. There you go. Funny.
Did you go to Warped Tour at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Because I was raised like super religious and all of that, and so we never went to like anything that was secular until I let me think. What was my first secular concert? Secular.
Mhm.
It had to have been out of high school. No, it had to have been once I started driving. So
Okay,
16,
16-ish.
which
Okay.
was the same as out of high school.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, there you go.
I keep saying like out of high school, meaning like 18-year-olds, but I always
But
forget.
you're forgetting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
did you have to like not tell anyone you were going to that, or at that point were you like, "Hey, parents, I'm gonna go do this"?
oh yeah, so when I turned 16, well, when I started driving, they were like, "You're basically a man now,
You
so
can make your own decisions.
you're paying for your cell phone bill, you're paying for
Okay.
your gas, you're paying for your car insurance, you're working, you're." Because I started working when I was 14
Okay.
at Chick-fil-A.
Hey,
Yeah.
weren't they back? Well, maybe not back then, but like they were one of the few places that you could get a job at 14.
Yep, with the
Yeah.
work permit and parents agreement or
And also,
whatever.
they're off on Sundays, so.
Yeah. So and you have to like with the work permit is only like child labor laws.
Oh
So
yeah, you can't work past like 10 p.m. or something.
no, you couldn't work past I think it was no, you could work past you can work correct. Yeah, past 10, but it was like you can only work like 3 hours a day during the work week and then you can only
So
work
like literally like if you got off school 3 hours after school and then go
bingo.
home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
3
that's
yeah,
nice.
3 hours during the school day and then you can work 8 hours only
Okay.
on weekends.
Word.
Yep, and you couldn't work more than 18 hours in a week.
Okay.
So if you did like a full 7 or 8 hours on a Saturday, you can only work 2 other days.
Okay.
Or no, I did 4 days a week because I did 9 and then 7 on yeah. Crazy. I've been working way too long.
Yeah. I was gonna say
I've been wanting to retire for the past 10 years. I'm like, I'm only 22.
No, hey, Vanilla Ice had a song where he goes retired at 25 or something. I don't know. So,
Yep.
There's others that have done it, but oppositely, I didn't get my first job until I was 19, so a year into college, and I was like,
Which is a typical.
You think so?
Yeah.
Most of the people I was around had already had jobs. I felt like I was atypical, but maybe it's just who I was around. But
maybe like a lifeguard or something.
Yeah. Most of the people I had talked to had been like they had either a summer job or like
right. That's what
Chick-fil-A or like lifeguard. But
okay.
I remember when I went to the interview at the Willow Lawn Dollar Tree.
Nice.
The man who was the manager there at the time, his name was Rob. He looked at me and he was like, "You've never worked before?" And I was like, I was so nervous that was going to be like what the manager was going to say to me. I was like, "I've done volunteer work at church."
Yeah.
Barely. And he was just like, "You know what? That means you won't backsass me when I ask you to do something the way we want it done."
That's right.
And then he hired me. I was like, "Thank you." And I worked at Dollar Tree. And to this day, like I can look at a product and sometimes be like, "That looks like Dollar Tree," and I'll pick it up and it'll say Greenbrier International on the bottom. That's how you know. So a lot of times, not to call out like mom and pop stores, but sometimes they'll sell Dollar Tree stuff for like $2. And I'll be like, "That's a Dollar Tree item," but I get it. Y'all aren't Dollar Tree. So if you're ever trying to like bust somebody,
you gotta make it.
True.
I gotta go pee, so we're gonna pause real quick.
Sounds good.
Yes, because I can't think.
Okay, go
we'll
for
right
it. Welcome back. Yeah. Oh my God, that is him.
And we're back.
This is okay. Actually, my whole phone is Kimberly. Oh, I call him Kimberly. That's him. He's my phone background. That's like older him, but this is him.
He looked like I gotta look like Adam. Adam.
Say Levine.
No. Lambert.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Just that one photo reminded me of the album cover of What Do You Want From Me?
Okay.
It's probably the purple that involved in it because once again,
and also the hair shape a little I can see.
Probably the eyes as well. But yeah. Dang, dude.
I'm glad I found that. But yeah, no, the picture I have on the back, that's actually him from the same concert that I just went to in LA. That's it's like a concert they do every year, but they don't always come to America for it. But this is him 10 years ago. And he looks so different here. It's kind of hilarious. But anyways.
Wow.
Yep. Fun facts. Fun facts.
Benny, you want to get up here? You gonna get up? Come on. You gotta lay down. But yeah, here we go. Yeah, so with your nails, dude, I looked on your Instagram and stuff. How do people like operate with nails that are like this?
Slowly and carefully. I kind of call them high heels for your hands or cages for your hands. You like learn ways around it. And to me, it usually only takes me about an hour to fully adjust to having them on or off. It's if you have long nails and then you cut short, it takes you a second to get used to having no nails again.
Because you have to change the geometry of your
Yeah,
hand.
exactly. No, you have to change like pretty much everything you do. And like once you have it, like you'll know, and you won't like make these common mistakes. Like there's common things that break nails, like steering wheels. When you're spinning your hand all over your steering wheel, sometimes you're like, and like your nails will get caught inside the holes of a steering wheel.
Oh yeah.
Be careful. What else? Wet laundry. Do not pick wet laundry up. Don't try to hold all of it at once. You have to take it like 1-2 at a time. Putting sheets on a bed. Don't do that with nails on. You're going to have to ask somebody for help. or you just have to be okay with doing it very slowly and don't rush anything. That's another thing. Oh, one time me and Taylor we went on vacation to Scotland. I put some long nails on for Scotland. And I remember we were like about to walk in the rain, and I had to take something out of a bag, and I was like, hold on a sec, this is gonna take me a second. And like I knew how slow I had to move to do what I had to do. And then Taylor was like, gosh, you gotta hurry up. And I was like, I told you it was gonna take a minute. I'm sorry.
Goodness gracious.
Because tying your shoes. Just don't wear shoes with laces.
Or just
slip on.
Be able to get your slips on.
Yeah, or figure out a way to tie your shoes where you don't have to like. Yeah, there's ways to do it. Like I'm not gonna say you can't do those things, but those are gonna be the things that are gonna be the hard things right out the gate.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because I'm like, sometimes I see some of these, well, especially on your Instagram, which is, how do they find you on Instagram?
Oh, I can say my Instagram?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, cool. It's at Banana Nail, and it's BAN. Banana, regular banana spelling, period, nail with 2 N's. Banana.nail. That's my Instagram for my business, personal. And then my fan art Instagram is Metal Bubble. I forget how that's exactly spelled. I don't go on that one as much anymore, but it's still there.
It's still there. Yeah. So yeah, I was looking on your Instagram, and I was like, damn, these things are like as long as my fingers. Some of them are long. I'm like, how do people operate?
A lot of times, well, some of the ones that I post that are really long are just ones that I do for fun that I take off like right after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like when models take photos in private airplanes, and it's actually
it's
just
not, it's
just half an airplane.
Half the airplane. Yeah, exactly. So they're not always being worn, but some of the older long ones are on people. When I was at the nail salon I worked at, I didn't have as much time to do work, like fun work that I wanted to do on the side. And I also didn't have the supplies for it. But now that I've been on my own for a little bit, and I've like built up a arsenal, I would call it, of gel polishes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now I really have had more time to like explore fun things. Like, I have this concept in my head. I'm gonna put it on like a really long press-on nail. Take it off.
Have you ever? Sorry, bud. You gotta get up. You are farting like crazy. Sorry, bud. It's that steak I gave you.
Yes.
That garlic. Oof. Sorry, bud. I'm exiling you to the room. That's so sad.
He heard all the things.
Yeah. I was gonna ask. Oh, have you ever had like people have like actual nails that long?
So
nails fascinate me because I was thinking about it today. Sorry to cut you off, but
you're good.
Because I was looking at my nails today, thinking about you coming in and talking with me today. Because I was just like, all right, this one's super flat and this one is super round. I cut my nails so that you can not judge me because they were gross today. But I was like, she's gonna judge me.
Like, oh whoa, look at those.
Yeah, don't look at my toes. Don't look at my toes. I didn't do those. but this is probably as long as I've ever had my hands out like this before. So count it up, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like they're so super fascinating because like this one is
Like
super
the nail
flat.
bed shape's different.
The what?
The bed of the nail bed.
Yeah,
shape.
nail
Okay.
bed. She's a professional, y'all. She just said nail bed. When I think of nail bed, I think of like Rick Bleed's Believe It or Not or something.
This is the bed made of nails. Oh
Yeah.
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 Nail bed. Oh hey, yeah.
He's gonna get ran over by a car and not get impaled. I'm like, oh Jesus. But yeah, I was like, it's so interesting because like these things are like completely different shapes. So how do you handle that?
It's interesting that you're thinking about that because no, there's definitely nail shapes that are harder to work on than others. Like some are super easy to work on. Like if you can glue fake nail tips on, right? You kind of understand that concept.
Yep.
Yeah. Some people.
I've had a few girlfriends in my life.
Nails, what are they?
Yeah.
Girls, how do they work? No, but some people you glue the nail tips on, they sit flush, it looks amazing. You cut it, it looks like nails. Some people, poor souls that they are, their nail beds are funky shapes, or like they point down too much, or they're too curved like that, like. And it's, people can have different shaped nail beds on one hand, like you said, and it's just something the monotony of working at the nail salon, of having so many customers all the time, that really, like, I don't think there's anything that somebody could walk in with that would really scare me other than like actively bleeding wounded nails.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
like,
go to the doctor.
Like, yeah. So, because in my head, I've seen most things that is appropriate for a nail salon. Like, obviously, I haven't seen things that, that show on TLC, My Feet Are Killing Me?
Nope.
Okay, well.
It's a lovely show though because it's on TLC. It might need a little bit.
But no, that show, it's it's like Dr. Pimple Popper, but
okay.
But it's podiatrists. So people come in, and I remember I watched the first episode of it, and I was like, I've seen some things at the pedicure station. I think this will be fine. Oh, my stomach turned. I was like, oh my god! Like when I saw like this abscess on a lady's foot, that's when I realized I have not seen everything that's for the doctors to see.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't, because I'm not a doctor. But like, anything that I think is appropriate for a nail salon, I feel like I've seen. So I'm like, I know how to handle that for the most part.
Yeah, I don't really get squeamish when it comes to bodily things. I follow an Instagram called Med Talks.
Okay.
On Instagram.
Have you ever been to the Medical History Museum in DC?
No. I try to avoid DC like the plague.
Okay. Well, if you ever find yourself in DC, you probably like that place.
Yeah. Yeah. But Med Talks, they always have like pre-surgery situations and then like post-surgery situations. They always have like a breakdown of like what happened. It's like this guy jumped out of a window trying to escape from cheating on his girlfriend or something and landed on a barbed wire fence, or like, or just like crazy stuff like that, or like
and
this
we're here
person,
to fix it.
yeah, and then they show the after. I'm like, dang, they did pretty good.
Okay.
Or like this guy was driving down the road in a logger truck, released
and
all
no
of its
seatbelts.
yeah, and the log went through him or her or whatever. I'm just like, dang, dude.
Total Final Destination.
100%. Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. So you went into nails just because you like walked by a.
Well, I realized, back to my thing and being into like this deco stuff, I realized that I like using small items to make things cutesy and pretty.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what nails is. And people would ask me like, why do you, like when I was working in the nail salon, I'd be like, why do you want to get into this? And I like working with my hands and like kind of tinkering all day.
Yeah.
Like, and that is what that job is, for the most part. So I was just like, it was kind of hard in the very beginning to go from, because in college, especially painting, like it's like go big or go home. Like how big can, conceptually, of course, if somebody's not, but usually if you're in like a painting 1 through 3 class, where they give you more structured, like you need to make this many paintings at this many size, the size increases. So you're working big, 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 big. And
Oh,
then,
that's
like,
interesting.
I remember the first butterfly I painted on a toenail. It took me forever because, like, I was like, I didn't realize how small this would be. But
It's like the same thing of when people, the difference between like a car mechanic and a watchmaker.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Both very mechanical, but very different sizes.
Yes, and it took me a long time to adjust. It's weird because, like, I got, like, the whole thing about shaping the nail down faster than I got, like, certain flicks of the wrist for certain painting aspects that I needed to do, which was wild to me because I thought it would be harder for me to learn how to control the drill than it would be for me to learn how to control the paint brushes that you use for nail art. But it was the opposite. I learned the drill way faster than I did some of the intricacies of line work when it's that small.
Yeah. And so do you have, I'm assuming that you have different brushes and things for different things.
Yeah,
Because
like,
all I know is like the one fan that comes out of the Dollar Tree kind of.
there you go. Yeah, exactly.
You do one color kind of thing, but
yeah, no, there's different sizes, and, like, basically a lot of nail art specific. They look like a pen, but it has but it has, like, a long liners thing. It's like, so the brush part is like this big, and, like, you can draw very straight lines with it, kind of like pinstripe. If you've ever seen pinstripe people on cars work, it's kind of like some of the brushes look like miniature versions of what pinstripe people use.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then you have to dilute the paint right for it to consistently. But that's all stuff I kind of learned in college with painting.
Right, color palettes and things like that.
Yeah, and, like, how to dilute things, right? Like, because when you're painting, they teach you, like, you can make college art classes anything you really want to within a certain reason, in my opinion. But, like, they're going to teach you how to work with oil paint.
Right.
And oil paint is, like, effing chemistry. Like, not really, but, like, they're like, if you mix the turpentine, some people like to put more linseed oil in it, and some people like more turpentine. I think I ended up liking more turpentine than I did linseed oil, but it's just like, I used to think like that. So now when I'm working with nail stuff, it's like, how do I dilute this correctly? Usually with nail polishes, you'll dilute it with, like, alcohol or acetone.
Those are different things.
Yes, isopropyl alcohol is just isopropyl alcohol, like, rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
And then acetone is a paint thinner, but it's not. Turpentine is a paint thinner too. My whole life I was just gonna work around paint thinners. I'm gonna have a lawsuit on my hands in a few years.
Or you won't remember by breathing it in a long enough time.
There we go.
Yeah.
I wear a mask at work, but
okay.
Like,
I can only work so much.
Right.
So what kind of paint is on the nails?
So there's a lot of different things for nails, but when you see, like, painted on art, kind of like how I have it now, it's going to be
yours is 3D on your pinky.
Yes, those are gems.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. Gems will get caught on everything. Like, I have this part that sticks up right here, and, like, if I go to dry my hands on a terry cloth towel, I just leave my finger out of the towel. That's another, like, adjust for how your nails are thing, because, like, this thing will pull an entire line of terry cloth out, like, the second I, like, stick my hand full.
And it won't rip your nail off.
It'll feel weird, but it won't rip the nail off. I mean, if I pull really hard, it might take this off, but
yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
Richmond City streets need to be making that stuff.
Right, exactly. We would have no potholes.
Yeah.
Most of the polish that is gel polish, which is a form of, like, resin that you cure with a UV lamp.
Yep. Okay, that's the thing that people stick their hands under.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I guess you could consider it more of like a varnish or something. But I'm not really sure what it's made out of. I've looked at the ingredients list before, but it's like
red, purple, red, blue.
Yeah, that too.
Red 6 and
something interesting that when I went from college to working in the nail salon, my boss at the time really wanted to make his own line of acrylic powder, and so he thought that I was going to be a good asset because he was like, oh, you know how to mix colors. And I kind of was actually, because like I would help him for a little bit mixing colors in this back room, and people were like, oh, you guys back there mixing colors. I'm like, I don't want to be back here with him doing this.
Right.
But
like I left school for for not being a chemist.
God. And so, but like I remember there were some things that he didn't know that I knew, like neon pigments are the only pigments that are, you can't mix neon color from your basic primary. Like you can't take canary or cadmium yellow and red and make neon pink. It's physically a different pigment. Like you're never gonna make that color from like the basic primary colors.
Okay.
And some people are like, oh, you can mix any color out of the primary colors. And like weirdly that like concept is kind of true, but like physically not really. Like
so neon is like its own category.
Yeah, like because like the pigments are materials themselves that get mixed into these products. And like I remember having to talk to him about that, be like, Tippy, that was his name, but I was like, Tippy, we're not gonna be able to mix this pink from anything you have back here. And I remember I had to learn that there's certain things that are in oil paint that are carcinogens, and you can't use them on beauty products. Because I was like, what we need to do is get cadmium red in here. And Tippy was like, okay, cool, we'll order it. And then I was Googling, it was like, cadmium is a known carcinogen. Like, I was like, oh, like, wait, how do I do this? And that's when I figured out, oh, beauty products need like Red Lake 40. So we ended up ordering one of the not like a food coloring color, but it's like it's a beauty color that you see on the back of things. And
aren't carcinogens in cigarettes?
Yeah, carcinogens just means something that makes you get cancer.
Oh,
but like
perfect.
Cadmium red specifically is a toxic pigment, so
nice,
it gives you cancer. And I was over here like, Tippy, we need to get cadmium red. Cadmium red is gonna solve all our problems with this color mixing. And then I had to like teach myself like, oh no, wait, that can't use that in beauty products. And then that's when I realized I'm not here to make beauty products. I'm here to make cute things with small items.
Right. So you got yourself out of the back room and back out in the front.
And to this day, sometimes I get a little annoyed if somebody asks me to like custom mix a color, because I'll be like, I just pick from one of the ones I have, man. Don't make me do this, even though I can do it.
Yeah.
Give me a second. But
you're the angry witch back there, cursing spells.
If you say so.
Yeah, putting spells in her.
Oh my god, might as well. But yeah.
Do you work with a lot of drag queens?
I never have. No.
Interesting.
Well, okay. These are just like funny little stories of back when I was at the nail salon. Something I really liked about working at the nail salon was the gamut of the public that I was able to experience interacting with that I just never would have otherwise. Like, I feel like I've been able to like engage with so many different types of brains. Like,
yes.
Like I never met these types of people when I was in college, because like I realized at a certain point I was around nothing but people my age my entire life until I was there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to somebody who's a lot older than me. And then like, but back to the drag queen thing, there was a man, well, they used to like, they dressed as a woman, and what I'm gonna say she, just because it sounds easiest in my brain right now to say that. But like she was the father of a manager at the Food Lion at the strip mall I worked in.
Okay.
But she would walk up and down Jeff Davis Highway, and she clearly was a man, but like dressed as a female and like had a man's voice. But she would tell me like, oh yeah, back in the 70s I started doing female impersonation. I was like, oh, you mean like drag? She went, that's what they call it these days. We call it female impersonation. I
love
like,
it.
Oh,
I love it.
So yes, I have worked with them before, but not like active ones.
Yeah,
like older. There was one other older one that came in once, but the one that came in the most, I think her name was Lisa, the one that was the dad of the manager. And I remember she got a job at Wendy's, and she was really excited about. I don't know where she lived, but like. And oddly, my coworkers who were like older Vietnamese people and Catholic were very like accommodating. Like they would kind of laugh around her behind her back, but they'd be like, "Yes, ma'am." Like, yeah. I was like, "Oh wow, look at y'all being so polite." Thank you. But so I have worked with one.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a group of people out there that don't identify as females. They just like to dress up with women's clothing, or I
Yeah.
guess that
And I think it has to do with what generation
I'm
you're
all
in.
yeah. I'm always it's always weird because I'm just like, what's a woman's clothes versus a male's clothes? Because it's just like
Yeah, in 5,000 years, will we even know the difference?
I know. Well, that is for sure. Now we're on the topic of aliens. I'm just
There we
kidding.
go.
No, but it's like because clothes are clothes. They're not gender, but
Yeah.
it's just like
Hmm.
now some things are like I would never have to wear a bra, so that would be uh well
Well, I mean, if
unless
you
I'm
altered your
playing.
body enough
Yeah,
to
yeah.
so
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
you
like.
can
I'm
either
like that's what I
gain a
was
lot
like.
of weight or get implants.
Yeah,
So
well, gaining a lot of weight will never happen. I'll tell you that. I've been trying for 32 years, and
I
I've
hope
been,
you just naturally
I've been the
metabolism.
same weight. Yeah, I've been the
Oh.
same weight since I was 16.
Oh wow.
No, 14. Shoot,
Wow.
since I went through growth spurt.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, the highest I've been was when I lived with my girlfriend and she made breakfast and dinner.
Breakfast and dinner.
Yeah. And I
Happy
gained a whopping 8 pounds.
There you go.
Not as like, and I try, dude. I eat a lot. I eat all day, and it's still just like, nope, you're just not gonna gain any weight. I'm just like, I want to. And there's like, there are people out there that are trying to give me their.
Dude, yeah. Oh, that's something that like.
I was like,
It's funny, like, because I have to very actively think about. Well, not so much anymore, but like I don't know. I went through a phase where I was like, I love eating. Let me just say that I have to very actively think about portion control because like I love the feeling of being full.
that's so interesting because I hate it.
Oh my god! And yeah, this gets to my point of like things like that. Like people like the people that like don't like. There was a guy I was dating. I'm kidding, off on a tangent, but the guy
Love
that I got
tangents.
this UPS hat from,
Let's do it.
and he used to never want to go out. And I'd be like, hey, let's go out and get some food. And he'd be like, no. And he'd just invite me over to his house to watch like sports games. And I ended kind of like stopped wanting to go like hang out with him just because I thought he was so boring. And one day I asked him, do you like eating? And he was like, what? Because I realized he made the same lunch every day, and which is fine. And I was like, I was like, do you
Guilty.
eat for fun or because you have to? And he was like, oh, I just eat because I have to. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's why you never want to go out to go to a restaurant with me. That we are never gonna be on the same page.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's him. I'm never gonna be able to be like eating.
Sorry, Jake.
Right, ugh.
I don't. Was that his name? Damn.
No, his name was Mitchell.
Yeah.
Wonderful man that gave me a wonderful UPS hat that I love wearing.
Yeah.
Didn't like eating.
Yeah, I'm on that page. Like I like eating, but as soon as I'm full, I'm like, I'm done. I don't need to.
Why did I
I
bring
don't.
up the feeling of being full? There was a reason
I
I was
don't
getting
even want-
that. Oh, but like women at work, it's like listening to some of them. There was some people at my job that would be like, oh, I'm losing weight and I don't know how to stop. Like I hate when I lose weight because then I don't look sexy anymore. And I was like, oh, so sorry.
Yeah.
But these would be like upper middle-aged women. I don't know. That was always like sometimes like hearing an upper middle-aged person tell me something sad like would really hit me to my soul. And I like to this day I remember these things some of these women would say to me and I'd just be like, oh.
I hope I'm not that way when I'm that age.
Right. Well, I mean, sometimes like it was just things they were going through in the moment. But,
Oh,
like,
gotcha. Okay.
There was this one lady at work who she was talking to me and telling me about how her ex-husband had just stopped paying for their children's private school and was like send them to public school, and she found out like the day that she came to get her nails done with me that he was paying for his new girlfriend's kids to go to private school.
I mean,
And I was just like like, oh, it's so scary to me. Like,
yeah.
that's
Yep.
the type of thing.
As long as he's paying for everything else. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what public school's like, so I have no idea.
I mean, I liked public school, but I just think it's just more the idea of this man was like, take my children out of school because I need to send new girlfriend's kids that like weren't his kids.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was like, what? Like,
Yeah, that is kind of strange.
And this is like remembering like weird moments where like I said, upper middle aged women told me something deeply sad that I just remember forever. Like, oh, I hope those kids and that lady and that guy are all okay.
Yeah, dude, it's yeah. I mean, being in food service all the way up until pandemic time frame. Yeah, I was barista
Mm.
part time.
Start,
I was a barista part time and full time psychiatrist. It's like, yeah,
Luckily, I feel like
yeah.
I was able to like evade having to give too much advice back to people. I
yeah.
just felt like I was pretty good at. As long as you like, I would listen to something like that, like heavy, like, oh, I don't like hearing that. I'd just be like, man, I'm sorry. And they'd be like, it's okay. And like, that was all we really needed. Like, I didn't have to be there like, have you thought about calling his mother?
Yeah, but that's crazy though, because you're with them way longer than what a barista would be with their. Because how long is your average?
An hour to hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, so you had 2 clients a day and you worked only a couple hours? You
No,
did have
no,
a
no, no,
leisure.
no.
You did have a leisurely morning.
Yes. Yeah. I allot an hour and a half at least for everybody. Some people don't take that long. Some people take 2 hours.
If they have a wonky nail bed.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Or if they want, so with the type of nails I do dip nails. I'm about to do hard extension gel, but we aren't there yet. But
what is a dip nail?
A dip nail
sounds like an EDM artist.
Dip nails for Diplo. But it's a form of acrylic. It's a differently applied than traditional acrylic. It's just a different chemical bond and adhesion to your nail. And but you soak it off each time you come in. So that means sometimes the nail tips that we spent so much time forming, we're taking them off and putting them back on. So that adds to the time and all that.
Nail tip meaning?
The artificial extension that you glue onto the end.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Wait, glue onto the tip, like the actual end?
Yep, you take a little piece of plastic that's kind of curved a little bit, and it's shaped like that on the end, and you glue it to the end, and it's supposed to sit nice and flush and makes it so you can have long nails. And then
but does it go all the way up to your finger like this?
No, some of them do. There's different types of nail tips.
Yeah.
Some of them the part that you glue on is called the well. So a full well would be like one that comes
all the way to
really far down.
Okay.
The ones that come all the way down, those are called full coverage tips. Full well is like halfway down, and then like the traditional well is the one that's like more shaped like your natural nail grows out.
So
I can take you to the nail supply store sometime. Show you all these things.
It's a date. Let's do it. No, so why would someone want it only being halfway? Then you sand it down?
Yes. So yeah, like the idea is that you get it as flush as you can. So like if I glue on the one that just glues on right on the edge, you put the product on top, and that's what makes it strengthen, so it doesn't fall off or anything like that.
That was my next question.
Yes.
I was like, how the
dip nails? It's acrylic powder. You dip it into the acrylic powder,
just like the rubber gloves.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
How it was made. I love it.
How it's made. I love that show.
It is an amazing show.
It really is. But now you dip the nail into, you put like a glue, like essentially nail glue.
Okay.
But the one I use, it's like a resin nail glue. It's a little thicker than regular nail glue. And you paint it on like nail polish, and you dip it into the powder, and it makes the first layer. And then I build it up about 3 or 4 or 5 layers. Put this like thing called activator on it that hardens it. Okay. And then once you're done with that hand, you do this hand. By the time you're done with this hand, you go back and you can file because it's hardened. And you can file it and then shape it. So you file the edges like this first, and then you file the top to make it smooth.
I just noticed your thumb's a different color than the rest of your stuff.
Yeah, they're all different colors.
Well, yeah, but I just noticed the thumb was drastically different than the other two that I could see. The red and a bluish, greenish. The coloring in this room is crazy. Okay, that's insane. It's so fascinating. I had a question before I got distracted by the colors. So you went from dipping.
Yeah, well, I still do that, but that's why like you would if you glue on the tip and you cut it, You file it down so it's flush. When you're dipping the nail into the acrylic powder, it builds the layers up evenly as long as the nail tip is flush to your nail.
And you just said powder.
Yeah, acrylic powder.
So it's like actual powder. And then you put the like a clear. See, this is why I have this podcast, because I love learning about shit.
How it's made.
Yeah. So you dip it in powder first?
Yes. So you have like a little
Stay tuned to next episode. Well, I have long ass nails coming.
There's a
Just to learn.
5-ounce thing of powder, and some of the powders have the pigments mixed in, so they're colorful. And some, but the clear one is like the one that you use on the bottom and the top. So basically, I'll put the glue on, dip it into the little thing of powder, pull it out. There's your first layer. Usually it's clear, not always. But then you do another layer and you dip it into the color powder, and then that's how you start making the color on the nail.
And then do you mix colors sometimes?
Yeah, you can layer them if you want. You can take a little brush and sprinkle it on to make it kind of fade from one color to another. To do French,
ombre,
you just kind of,
I learned that word.
Yes,
with
there
hair.
you go. You ombre it. So
Yeah.
then for French, you just take like a little cap and you put like the white in there, and you just dip just the tip in, and it makes a little French white line.
I know that nail.
Yeah, French nails.
That's the one nail I know.
French and
Oui,
ombre nails.
Oui. Now I know ombre nails.
Ombre nails.
So when you're doing this work, is their hand like completely limp?
It works the best when it's completely limp. But there is such a thing as being too lax.
Yeah.
So some people, they're heavy-handed and they're lax. So like, oh gosh, you'll be like just trying to turn their hands. But like, it's best if they're lax and you're like resting on your elbow and kind of like this. It's bad if they're turned like this. It's annoying. Just leave them straight.
Dude, you'd have a fun time with my these fingers. These things are twisted.
Not too bad.
Look at this guy. Just Joker is twisted.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Like that corner goes in.
Yeah. Same with this one. Not as bad, but
Okay, yeah, it's a little different.
it's so crazy. It's like, why? And the same thing is with my brother too.
Really?
Yeah, both of our.
It's a curse in your family.
You hear that? You hear that?
Have you worked on to figure out who cursed you? Just kidding.
That might come out. I have to go into like the genealogy.
Okay.
I have a feeling which line it's coming from, but
Okay. As long as you've got a hunch.
the Catholics. I'm just kidding.
Catholic guilt.
Twisting my fingers. Nah.
Ask the new pope. It might fix it.
While we're eating deep dish pizza, baby.
Yes.
Wow. So you went straight out of college. You've been doing it full. So now let me ask you this. So you said that you have a spot, or do you go to people's?
That'd be so troublesome. I have a spot. I rent a space in a multi-purpose office building.
Nice.
Yep. So yeah, when I first left, I went straight to like one of those like solo salon type places,
Okay.
like where but it's like salon specific. But I realized pretty quickly, well, actually not quickly, because this is my 4th year doing it, and this is the first time I've gone out of kind of that kind of space. But since I do nails and I don't use certain products like monomer liquid, I'm able to kind of work anywhere within reason. And this is the first year that I've like not felt like I was charged. Like salon specific spots will upcharge you because it's salon specific. You have like plumbing in the rooms that you need.
Yep.
But like I don't necessarily need, well, I don't do pedicures. If I did, I would need that. But I don't. So
Pedicure the toes.
yes.
Okay.
You need like you don't technically need it. You could fill a bowl up, but oh god, the
Yikes.
thought of doing that. But like I don't rent from a space that like upcharges for like a salon requirement, and it's just been so freeing financially. It's great. And I love the building I'm in. It's like this cute like building from the 80s. It's like a doctor's office type building.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like very 80s looking too. I love it.
And then you're playing 90s TV shows.
Oh, yes.
And you're from the 2000s. And
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great time. Really curated the experience.
Welcome to the
When you leave, you
The
feel
ch-
like, wait, what decade am
I time changed. Wow. Yeah. Literally time changed. Yeah, of course time changed, but through the decades. The dang. Do you see yourself doing this forever?
You know, I see myself doing it as long as I honestly don't know what I know that there's things that probably would lead to me not being as successful with it, but I've seen women
What do you mean
on
by that?
like if I'm older, like maybe somebody might think like she might not know trends or something like that. But I see like upper middle aged women doing nails on like Instagram, like with like popular pages on Instagram. So I'm just like, I don't. Maybe I see more just like a projected fear, like oh I could be considered untrendy,
Yeah.
but I haven't experienced that yet, so I don't know if I will. And I feel like I would know the feeling of it if it did happen, but I don't know. I haven't experienced it yet. I also think that if I do have a history of arthritis in my family. So my mom's side, at least. But like my grandmother, I don't think had it. My mom doesn't have it. So I'm like, my mom's 68. So
Boom.
the only issue my mom has is blood pressure. So I'm kind of like, hopefully okay.
Namaste.
Yeah,
Your
but
way
like
through.
I feel like I would maybe look into stopping if it was painful,
Yeah.
or if I had just one too many clients just leave me and be like, you don't know what you're doing. But that's kind of like an irrational fear of like clients being like, you don't know what you're doing.
That's just
I do.
Yeah, that's just the working for yourself fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I kind of think, but when I was on the plane going to LA this weekend, I was thinking to myself, could I be a flight attendant? And I was literally watching them intently, like, could I wear that? What are they wearing? Because I'm like before, I don't know if it was before we were filming, we were talking about uniforms and going back to work, but like I was like, could I wear the clothes they wear?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, there was one lady. I was flying Frontier, and there was one lady wearing like a
Frontier.
skirt. Yeah, it's like a newer. I don't know how old it is, but it's kind of like Spirit. But
okay.
maybe a bump above Spirit.
I mean,
but ish.
I don't
really.
know if you can go below Spirit.
Right. Well, but this one woman was wearing like a skirt that came like to her knees with like a big sweater, and I like to wear large clothes, like oversized shirts and stuff. And so like as long as I could wear like an oversized sweater with a skirt, I think I could do flight attendant stuff. But yeah, that's what
is there a height thing? Do you know?
What
for flight attendants?
Like they can't be a certain tallness?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know.
I don't either.
Because I've never seen like someone that's like.
Well, no, there's men flight attendants. Oh, there's a bunch of men flight attendants on my last flight.
That's cool.
I couldn't tell how tall they were because I was sitting down. But
yeah, same thing. So that's also the optical illusion because I'm just like.
But if anything, I should be able to help because I can put things in the overhead bin really easy.
That's right. But
I do worry about my I'm not very bossy, so I feel like that would be that would be the hard part of me being like, could you please stop? Oh, you won't? Okay, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
Could you get your child to stop? Oh, you won't.
No, you can't tell children to shut up. That's a rule.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
kids can just do. There was, oh my gosh, on the flight going from Denver because I flew through Denver, and this flight from Denver to LA, there was a family fighting amongst themselves, and the mom, or who I'm assuming was the mom figure, kept berating what I assumed was one of the kids.
What are the ages?
They were all looked like adults though. That's why I was like really weirded out by it. But so the mom was like getting mad at this younger than them person, I guess, and she kept saying things like, "You want me to get louder?" And mind you, this was a flight at like 9 p.m.
Oh geez,
it's dark, it's quiet because no one's talking that loud on the flight. And she keeps going, "You want me to get louder? Take it off. Look at me!" Like for like 2 minutes is getting increasingly louder. The flight attendant finally came over and went, "Do y'all know each other? I'm gonna need you to settle down." And I was like, "Could I do that? I don't know.
Let's go.
I'm gonna need you to. What's going on here?"
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That was probably that flight attendant's third trip that day. And
right. Like with somebody acting up.
Yeah, she was already had her.
But
Her last leg.
But back to like job stuff. As long as I can do my job and feel comfortable doing it, I'll still do it.
Yeah. Do you paint?
So when I graduated, I always kind of knew I liked drawing more
Oh.
than painting.
Yeah.
But my painting one teacher told me you should major in painting because that way they know you can paint and draw. If you major in just drawing, they won't know you can paint. And so I did. And then painting was fun back then. I don't feel like I got burned out from it, but I think I got like tired of how messy it was.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You like things in order?
Huh?
Do you like things in order?
I like things to not be sticky and wet. I don't care if they're
I
cluttery. Like
did-
that's why I like the paper stuff. Like, but like wet paint everywhere.
You had me on sticky. When I was a barista, I shaved my arms,
Because you
like my forearms, because of the syrups. I would always just shave my arms because they would get sticky, and then I'd have sticky hair all day, and I'm just like,
Oh, that's
hate
such an interesting
this.
like. Oh God,
I don't like stickers.
Oh.
I don't. Just the thought of stickers just give me the EBGBs.
Oh.
So like whenever I was a kid, the Walmart people were like, "Here's a smiley face." I would be like, "Nope,
No, please.
no
Not that
old
for
man,
me.
no old man. I don't want a smiley face sticker. Thank you. I'm
And at
smiling
the
enough."
doctor's office, they had the stickers. Oh my God.
Yep.
See, I loved stickers, but maybe it's just the wetness, but wet sticky paint. Yeah, like I don't know. There's certain messes that I'm okay looking at. Like right now in my room, there's so many clippings of paper and like used sticker sheets all over this one side of my room from where I was doing this stuff.
Yeah, but it's organized.
I'm okay
though.
looking at that. What?
But it's organized though, because it's like
Not really.
that's the
Well, yeah, it's in that one space,
Correct.
but it's like messy within that one space.
Yeah.
But like when I would be in college and I would look at the painting mess, I would. Ugh. But painting was fun back then. But when I graduated college, I remember thinking this was before I had gone to the nail school because there was about 8 months in between me graduating in December of 2014 and September, well that's 9 months, but September of 2015 where I was like trying to figure out, do I want to go back to grad school? And I bought the test book for the test you have to take to get into grad school or whatever. And I literally like opened it once and went, no. And like, I was just like, I'm going to try the nail thing because I've always wanted to do it. And, but in that period of 8-9 months, I was like, how am I going to keep drawing? Like, I realized also like after college, and I knew this a little bit before college ended, I was like, man, I'm gonna not have anybody giving me a syllabus anymore. Like I liked classes because it gave me like organized, like, oh, here's the syllabus.
Yeah.
Here's like how we're gonna do things. And I loved going to lecture classes. Like I would just sit there and be like, tell me more if I didn't fall asleep.
Right.
But I was like depressed a little bit about like, oh, how am I gonna like make myself work on things that I supposedly like because I majored in it. So that's when I created my K-pop fan art account. I created it. I want to say it was May of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been a little before that. And I was like, I'm just gonna draw pictures of K-pop stars and see how it goes. And I'm still doing that 10 years later now. And I also like crafted this style that I wanted to do, which I still kind of work in that style. And it's so funny. If you go all the way back to 2015 in my fan art Instagram account and you scroll up, you can just watch the style change. It's like ridiculous. And I'm kind of proud of it now, just looking at it when I scroll through it. I was like, I can see where I had artist block moments. I can see where I was trying to change my style and like when I was messy or when I was like doing too many drugs at one point.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look how messy that looks.
Yep.
But it's fun. I like to scroll through it to look at the change. It's like looking at waves.
So, okay, I do want to hit on. So, were you just a single parent when you were a child? This is a big jump, but I've been thinking about it for a while, and now, yeah, like I like it. We can go there. So, you were a single parent after your dad passed away?
Yes, just my mom.
And you were 8th grade, you said? Sixth grade? 8th grade?
8th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. because I have still with both my parents, so
Oh,
I always like to talk to people who have like single parent experiences
okay.
because that's so fascinating to me because it's just like, huh,
What happened after that?
how does that work?
So I do have some thoughts on that.
Yeah,
My mom did a really good job for the skill set that she had.
of course.
My mom,
That's the best you can ever do.
yes, I think
It's
my mom
like
was given advice that was well intended, but not actually good advice.
based
Like,
on the situation that she was in.
yes.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think that she had friends that I also think it's a generational difference of me interpreting the decisions and advice that I heard and that she ended up following. I think for the time, like literally everything worked out perfectly in the moment, but like it just like in the future wasn't maybe the best decision that could have been made.
Okay. Like looking back.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay,
she
yeah.
even thinks that too. Like there were
Well,
some
that's good.
people that she right, we're on the same page
Yeah, I
about
mean
it not being the best. But like she had like some friends in choir at church that like really stressed. You have to make sure that their lives, like me and my sister, like their lives
sister's older or younger?
younger. She's 3 years younger.
Okay.
Like one of the some of the advice that she brings up, my mom does, is that she had a few people in the choir or something telling her, you need to make it seamless, like have it so that their lives don't feel any different from when he passed, like your dad, like my dad passed away.
Oh, that's weird.
Like not like experience like, oh, it's like he never died, not like that, but like more like if they were involved in something at this level, keep them involved at this thing at this level. So
Oh,
like
okay.
you encourage them to keep doing this, and that. It's funny that they gave her that advice because in my head, why would that have changed my
Right.
involvement?
Right.
Like I think that maybe people thought that maybe I would take it harder or something, or like be really. And I was upset when my dad died, but I wasn't like never felt like my life's derailing. And I think that some of my mom's friends maybe thought that that would be what happened for
Yeah.
us, and that the advice that they gave her was like some along the lines of that. And so my mom, she looks back and was like, I feel like I maybe spent more money than I should have back then on things that were not necessary.
Got it. Yep.
Like, yeah.
Which then added stress to her, I would assume, and then
Yes, it did because
Yeah.
she did go into debt.
Yeah.
And she's worked her way out of it now, but like yeah, there's stuff like that. And like that's why I say it was well-intended advice even though it wasn't the best advice.
Did you have a solid relationship with her before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel like she actually told me this recently, too, the week before Mother's Day. She said that something she noticed I did, and specifically after my dad died. But it's funny because I didn't notice this, and when she said she noticed it, I was like, honestly, I think, well, I have my interpretation of what I thought it was, but like she was like, something you started to do, you'd be with your friends, and you'd be at school, and I'd walk up, and you'd just like stop talking and look at me. And I was like, I did. She was like, yeah, you do it all the time. Like I'd walk into the room, and you just stop talking and look at me, and you wouldn't keep talking, and I felt like you didn't like me or something. And I was like, but even me remembering my time, like I was like, I didn't feel that way. And I think I had to sit there for a second and go, why would I have done that? And I thought to myself, I think that I did that to her because I don't necessarily think she doesn't have the same sense of humor that I do.
Oh, okay.
And so I think probably what it was is me and my friends were talking, and I was worried she would make a joke that I wouldn't think was funny.
Oh my god.
So it's not even like a mean thing, like
Yeah.
me being like, "Oh, mom, I don't want you in here because I hate you." It was more just like, "Oh, she's gonna say something silly, and I'm gonna have to roll my eyes." Oh my gosh! But no, we have a good relationship.
Do you think it got stronger?
I think I was already kind of poised to be not a weak person. That sounds really full of myself to say that.
It's not
But like
full of
even
yourself?
before my dad died, like I was really experimenting with my fashion back then in
Okay.
middle school. And like I remember before my dad died, I started wearing goth pants.
Uh-huh.
But not full goth outfit because that was too much.
Yeah, yeah.
Even for me. And I didn't wear girl goth pants. I wore the guy ones.
Like Jinkos kind of
Yes.
thing? Yeah.
But like the trip Trip by Dane Goodman Jenko.
Okay,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
And so I had this like, but
A
my dad
lot of
hated
trips
it.
to Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad hated it. I remember very specifically he had a conversation with me about how I was going to be a janitor if I dressed like that, and no one would like me.
Huh.
And it's funny because I'm like, Dad, you're an idiot. Janitors are like unionized workers that make a lot of money. Well, they make decent money.
Yeah.
He's over here like, you're gonna be a janitor. Stupid. But I was already acting like confident in ways before he died, and then I feel like I still continued that after he passed away. So I don't think it necessarily made me stronger because he died. I do think there's aspects that made me like, I definitely wanted to continue the no cursing thing, I think. Not because he died, but because I knew it was something he'd like.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah, because for me, when I grew up, I just took on more language. And so it's just like, oh, okay, got it. And so for me, like, I can say shoot or I can say shit, and it's the same spirit behind it. Could say dang, could say damn, same thing. It's the same.
I've had
same spirit behind it, and it's like I just use language as it is. So it's just like sometimes I was like dang.
Yeah,
And
I've had people, not a lot, but there has been people in my life when they hear me do like curse the way I do, they'll be like, "You're still saying the same thing, so you might as well just say the real F word.
Yeah.
When you're saying effing, it means you want to say it." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not."
Yeah, you're just like, I'm just using words.
I'm artfully crafting the words.
Yeah,
intentionally.
I'm
How dare you step on my intention?
How dare you judge my art?
This is art. Have you considered?
It's coming out of my mouth. Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, because I don't know how I would do it without one of my parents. I don't know where I would be.
No.
Because both of them are very...
So you mentioned where you would be. I do think that because my dad passed away, it gave me specifically more freedom to do things that he would not have liked. Because I was already doing some things like that.
Okay.
Like wearing the goth pants to school. I think that he would have not wanted me to go into nails. I think because, remember, I told you he came from like a really educated background.
Yeah.
He was a structural engineer. He worked for a company that was like contracted through VDOT doing bridge restoration. Like, and I even had my best friend in college's mom, when she heard that I wanted to go into nails, literally messaged, like, I remember Bridget called me. It was like, my mom like freaked out and literally was like, get Anna on a 3-way call. We'll find her jobs that she can get with a degree. Like, don't let her do that. And I was just like, oh my God. But yeah, because my dad died, I think there's some like freedoms that I was allowed that wouldn't be there if he kind of was still here. And he was I never felt like my dad was oppressive, but there would definitely be things that he berated me for if I did. Like the whole thing where he was like, "Oh, you're wearing those clothes. You're gonna be a janitor with no friends." I think he would have said more stupid things like that to me throughout my life.
And because you respected him to a certain degree, that
would upset me. It would have made me probably. I don't know. I think it would have created more of a paradigm within my own mind of like,
got it.
Who can I be who I want to be?
Yeah.
So weirdly, it's like I'm really happy that I was able to develop the way I am. Sometimes I sadly think it is at the expense of my dad not being here.
Right.
Which is upsetting a little bit because I'm like, well, dang, I do wish I knew what he would be like if he was here, because now I hang out with Uncle Ted, which I love Uncle Ted. He's really nice.
He's a favorite
cool.
child.
No, right. Dude, so my dad has another brother. He has a younger brother named John.
Oh,
and
this terrible joke. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm not sorry.
I'm about
I said
to
it,
say the same thing. So my dad's younger brother, Ted's the older one. John is the younger one. And John was always the one that was like the hellion, the one that got in trouble at school. But they're all engineers with like good jobs. So like my Uncle John and his family is the one that I'm farthest removed from, and my mom is like, oh, like, because your dad was a golden kid, like that created like, you know, issue within the family, and like that's why your cousins and the aunt don't like you. But like I constantly will make this joke like, why is John mad? He won. My dad's dead.
Yeah.
Like, why is he mad at me? He won. He literally has all the things.
Yeah.
Bill's gone. You won, John.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I love making that joke.
I love that you can laugh about it and
my
not
God.
cry about it. Because I that's a box that I keep locked away in my subconscious, and sometimes it pops up, and I'm like, I can't think about that day. Same thing with Benny though too. So it's
I think about with my dog. Oh my gosh, I'm just like, what am I gonna do when I have to think about putting him down? Gosh.
Yeah, because it's like we both know that that's gonna happen eventually, and yet Benny's living in the moment, and it's just like, how do I be more like you? I learned so much from my dog. It's crazy, but
I've always well, actually, this kind of ties into it. I wrote down 2 little mottos that I say to myself all the time, and one of them is, the slower you walk, the longer you live.
I like it.
So it kind of ties into that. It's not necessarily living in the moment, but like the slower, maybe slower you walk, the more in the now you are. But it's something that an old man said to me. When I was in Hawaii.
He was 41.
I've been to Hawaii. I was a child when this was said to me.
Everyone's old when you're a child.
Right. I was 3rd grade when I first heard this. And was
it at south of the border?
Yeah.
Because that would be amazing.
I was with the grandparents that lived by there. But we were in Hawaii, actually, because my grandfather's older brother was in the Army, I don't know.
Military,
and so we were at the military hotel in Honolulu. And this older man who, I don't know if he worked for the hotel. I don't know why he was talking to us. But he was like my grandparents' age then. I remember he said, there's a Hawaiian saying, the slower you walk, the longer you live. And I just remember being like, this is my identity now. Well, I didn't think that then, but I realize now that is my identity. Because I told myself, and I said this back in college too, like I never took over 15 credit hours because I remember watching girls in the sorority I was in. They're like, oh, I'm taking 22 credit hours. I'm like,
my gosh.
You're going to die soon because the slower you walk.
Yeah.
God. So I never took over 15 credit hours because I was like literally thinking of that thing in my head. Like, the slower you walk, the longer you live. But yeah, but that leads to the other thing I was going to say about living in the moment. Like, anytime I have like a disagreement with somebody or like, which I don't really have that many of, to be honest with you, but like I would be like, oh, they just hate me because they don't know how to have fun. And I always felt like the thing I could pinpoint when people are angriest is that they don't know how to enjoy themselves or have fun.
Bingo.
And it is hard to learn that. If you don't know how to how to do that, I don't really know how to teach people how to do that, but I have picked up very often, like, people that seem to be really unhappy either don't know what they like and therefore don't know how to enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad for them because I'm like, dang, I always have known what I liked.
Yeah. And it's wild because it's like, from our perspective right now, we only have one of these things called life. And so it's like you're stressing the one thing that we have away. And it's like, what? How? Why? I mean, I was that way for my 10 years and 10 years of my 20s trying to build all the businesses and trying to be the next Bezos. And I was just like, then I hit 30 and I was just like, you know what? It wasn't even then. It was more like 27. I was 28 time frame. And I was just like, all right, I gotta balance my life out a little bit. I gotta Libra my life out a little bit.
Yourself out. Yeah. You probably got some Libra placements. Just gotta dig them out.
Yeah.
Gosh, but
yeah, but it's like I was just like, goodness gracious, I am stressing my life away and I lost all of my friends. I still don't really have any friends in Richmond because either they all moved away or that's a big one. That's a big one. But also just like I just
exhausted the ones that were here.
Yeah, because I was just like always working and I was like, sorry, I don't have time. I don't have, and so it just like separated and it's kind of sad, but at the same time I wouldn't be the same person I am today because of it. So I'm grateful for that time.
Oh, of course.
And now I'm in my 30s trying to rebuild my life as if I'm 20. Which is
one of my ex-boyfriend played a podcast, or he was playing something where they were interviewing a guy. And I remember in the interview the guy was like, man, now that my 40s are coming to an end, he said something like, I'm about to go into my 50s, and I don't know if that same gusto for life that I had when I was going into my 40s is still there. And I just remember thinking, nice. This is a man saying this about 40s. Like,
Yeah.
gusto for life that you had going into your 40s. I'm like, nice, okay.
She's like, I got a lot of gusto left in me.
Yeah, so much. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it depends on your lifestyle too, because like some people feel like they're dead at 25.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they have zero gusto for life.
And it's always like, are you naturally like that, or did the life that you've experienced make you like this? Like,
Yep.
Ugh, so many things. But to touch back on what you said about like, this is our one chance that we know of at it.
Yeah.
This is a good segue into how I kind of naturally started realizing that I guess I believe in reincarnation.
Uh-huh.
But not in like the very like, because it took me a while to kind of realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like, I don't know. I was raised in a Presbyterian church, a very lax one. Very
Presbyterian
church.
Do
whatever you want. Like
Presbyterian church.
Oh, you know about us?
Yeah, I do.
You know about us? No, just kidding.
I thought you didn't
we have fun. We have fun. We have dinner on
you have
Wednesday.
fun.
Yeah, the rest of them don't know how to have fun. No, but like but I started like just picking up on these things that I would be taking mental notes of, because I don't fully like, I wouldn't sit here and be like, I believe in reincarnation, I'm gonna go to like a monastery where they teach this. Like maybe I would, because maybe it would help, but like I don't feel connected or drawn to that.
Yeah.
I kind of just feel like I like identify with it solely based on personal things I feel myself.
Cool.
But like I kind of had this.
Were you a queen in a past life?
I think so. I realized within the past 5 years. At first, I thought maybe it was full agenderness, but it's more like gender indifference that I have.
Yeah.
And
define that, please.
I just was like, maybe it's just like the idea of not feeling tethered down to, or the idea that like I was raised Presbyterian but never felt very spiritual or connected to it at all.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's just that, but like gender indifference is like, I feel like I could be a boy or a girl and I don't care, but I enjoy the fact that, oh, I'm in a girl body right now.
Yep.
And I like that.
Okay.
But it wouldn't really matter to me either way.
So you don't feel trapped in any way?
No.
Yeah.
And
or some folks
but
do.
I think that I I couldn't tell you a pinpoint moment where I was like, oh, this is definitely what I think, because it's almost like I thought these things for a long time before I like was like, oh, I've been thinking this for a long time. But sometimes I'm like, I think I was both genders in previous lives to make me understand that now.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that kind of has made me realize, like, I think I've lived as a human multiple times before, is because I feel like I don't have other mental or even spirituality sometimes I think can trap people or like weigh them down mentally. And I don't feel any type of mental weigh down for a lot of things. And sometimes I think that it's because I've lived through it before and exhausted it out of my soul's consciousness.
Yep.
Like, and now I've like freed myself from it weirdly, but sometimes because I can't remember past lives at all, like I don't feel a connection to them. I just kind of feel this weird connection to them through the fact that I'm satiated right now.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm like, what did I do to get here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes it's not that I feel like I don't deserve it, but it almost feels like that because I feel like if somebody was going to have mental freedom and happiness, sometimes I'm like, I feel like I should remember the stress and things that I went through to get here, but maybe that's not even what's needed to get to this point. But
you have gratitude in the midst of it right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I remember there was this day that I walked through Hollywood Cemetery, literally like, is my brain powerful enough to protect me from walking through here? And I was like, I don't even feel a connection to spirituality anyways. Why am I thinking that a ghost is going to come?
Yeah.
But I always leave the door open. Like, I have this, like, idea that if I walk through a Civil War area, and Richmond has a lot of them.
Got a lot of them.
Belle Isle.
Uh-huh.
I constantly am like, I know what happened here.
What happened there?
Well, Belle Isle, like, they used it as, like, a Union prisoner thing in the Civil War, didn't they?
I don't know.
I think that's what happened. There
I
was like a
lived in
battle.
I've lived in Richmond my entire life and know
Well,
nothing
I mean,
about
I
it.
haven't fully fact checked what I'm about to tell you, but
Yeah.
like basically there was like
Welcome
something.
to my podcast.
Yeah, we're just going off of things I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I think what it was is they used it as a Union POW camp, but it was also like a Confederate like hospital at the same time.
That'd be pretty dope.
But that's
I mean, it's
like
smart. It's big enough.
right, and isolated kind of, but like
I mean,
and
yeah.
to get to my dad's parents' house, they lived in Floyd, Virginia. And if you drive out through on Midlothian, you just keep going west. You drive through Appomattox,
Yep.
and so like I would get that feeling there too. I'd be like, well, I've kind of grown out of this feeling, but I would feel like, oh my God, there's Civil War ghosts around me. They're probably mad because they're a bunch of teenage boys that were killed for nothing, and they see me being all modern and having fun, and they're angry.
Yeah.
To this day, I still feel that, but I know it's just like, it's not a real spiritual feeling I'm feeling. Well, maybe it is, but like I constantly, I'm like, I'm sorry, teenage boys that died for nothing. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Don't
but
hate
that's
me.
also right now
Don't
too.
hate me.
Like, so that's also like right now.
I'm sorry, teenage
With
boys that die for nothing.
Yeah. But also just like, I mean, we have not unlimited, but we have a shit ton of young people who died for nothing,
Oh yeah.
aka the Iraq War. But yeah, but yeah, okay.
But yeah. So that Oh, and another thing, your podcast is called LSD.
Yeah.
This specifically relates to that. I picked up on that I put people into two categories. Well, I know there's probably more, but the two that I like to
that's
say.
that's very gender.
Right? I have two categories, very black and white. No others. No,
I
but
couldn't even finish my joke.
But yeah, so I put people kind of into these two categories. There's the people that take psychedelics and their minds are blown. Like literally they're like, life is not the same as it was before.
Yeah.
Like if they're kind of freaked out. And then there's what happened with what my experience was where I took it and
Which one?
the first one I took was LSD acid.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, I didn't feel like my mind was melting. Mind you,
That's a good thing.
I took the time I took the most. It didn't even like it did feel like my mind was melting, but not changing the way I thought that. But anyways, I took it and it basically after it was all said and done, I was like, oh, I just kind of feel like reinforced in everything I already felt already.
That's good.
And so I kind of put people in these two categories because to me, when somebody's mind is blown by psychedelics, that means that they haven't been a human for as long as somebody whose mind hasn't been blown by it, which isn't bad. It just means that, and I specifically use my ex-boyfriend as an example of this because he was like that.
And when you say mind was blown, meaning their perspective on life completely changed.
It completely changed. They're
not like
the way
you did
my brain is
okay.
now after I've done acid or a psychedelic has changed everything. I don't even think the way I used to think.
Got it. Not like the way that someone takes acid and now they're walking on the streets talking to themselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so like, oh yeah, not that bad. Not
not
their
that
minds are blown and they can't function. Not like that.
Okay.
It literally just means like they feel like their entire way they think has been changed or altered.
Okay.
And like, because that didn't happen to me. It just made me feel like, oh, I'm reinforced in things I already believe.
And that was just a fun experience for you to have an altered, an altered reality,
and because it
altered consciousness.
Yes, and it also, mind you, I haven't taken anything as powerful as DMT, so I can't speak for that. But
there's always time.
There is always time, exactly.
And another life.
Right, next time.
Yeah.
But I my ex-boyfriend, he was like that, and I kind of would make this joke, Kevin, I think you were a dog in a past life. Like your past life, you were a dog.
Yeah.
And this is one of your first times around as a human.
Right.
So that's why this is more new to you.
Which is hilarious because on my first episode was probably, let me think. That was back in October. So I had Benny for about a year, maybe a little bit longer, basically a little longer. And I was like starting to like I was already used to him and he was used to me and we were very comfortable with each other and all that. But I was like starting to pick up on like weird nuances and just like different things. And like there's a lot of things I learned from him now. And but one of the things at that time, I was like, I wonder if bad people who when they die, they're in purgatory and they become a dog in their next life, so that they have to be learn how to be a good person via
re-experiencing
yeah
dog
via
form.
dog in dog form. And it because like something because it was something that he did that I was like,
That was a little too human-esque.
it was too human-esque, but also it's just like he was stubborn, but he was like, okay, fine, I'll do it anyways. And it clicked in my brain, and I was just like,
You have to relearn.
you would
to get
have
over
to
the stubbornness.
bingo. It's like you would have taken revenge on me or something like that if you were a human, but because you were a dog,
I will be yes.
you like
So similarly to that, for me personally, I think in my own experience right now as a female, that sometimes I wonder if because I was a guy in a past life,
yeah.
they're like, you need to be a girl now. And so I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel like it would take a lot to go from human back to dog, because I feel like you'd have to like go a few not human lives back, but I feel like you would have to really do something to regress back to dog. But yeah, I don't think it's impossible. But yeah, I do feel like there's things that like, oh, you can learn this by being this, and like, but that's the thing. I fully don't know, like, exactly understand my own interpretation of reincarnation, because I do hear something new that I haven't thought of, because I have such a personal interpretation of it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, but just like you not remembering your past lives.
Can't at all.
Exactly. So because of that, it might be the same way. And you are, okay, let me see how I'm going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So because you don't remember your past lives, everything that you're feeling is all subconscious currently. And when something hits you right now, you don't have it consciously, you just feel it subconsciously, and you're grateful for it because you've experienced it. Same thing with if you went from a human to a dog, you're just subconsciously relearning everything, and your fully consciousness is just living in the now right now.
Yeah.
And so you're just relearning it subconsciously. Once you pass on, then you go back to a human. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. So it's not like you have to like stair step all the way. Like it's almost like a
Yeah,
yes,
or like
okay.
even if just going from a human, you said you have to like downgrade your consciousness to being a dog.
Maybe you don't have to downgrade it like that. It's just
At all. It's just all subconsciously relearning it.
Yeah.
And you're just the only consciousness that dogs have, are the living in the now.
Yes.
And just
that's a very good explanation. Thank you. I like that feeling.
creative brain here. But yeah, that's cool. How many lives do you think you've lived?
I feel like it's big-headed to think this, but I feel like a lot.
That's not big-headedness.
I feel like
Why is that big-headedness?
I don't know. I feel like I just know a lot.
No,
I do feel that way sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
A lot of people have those weird intuitions, and yeah.
But it also took me a while to get to this place. But I have a really good memory too, so like I can remember when I didn't feel like my intuition, I was able to wield it as well. So I remember feeling more lost, like
What time frame did you think that was?
all the way up until the end of college.
Okay,
Like,
so once you...
But I still knew who I was and what I liked, but like I didn't interpret why I was able to so much better than people around me be like, I like this, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand why somebody else was like that. But like after college, and also I think maybe it was working around different age groups, talking to them, maybe that helped me really.
Yep.
Or I know it did, but I couldn't tell you exactly how, but just like through talking to different age levels, I think that really helped me hone in on this is what I think I'm experiencing and understanding.
Do you think a piece of that could be well, this would be a two-part, one being your brain being fully formed?
Yeah.
That's a big piece.
Yes.
Because I know for certain January of when I was 25, because I was born in November, so that following January, 3 months later, no, 2 months later, mathing it, 2 months later, the way I described it is like I felt like I was hovering over the ground the whole time up until I was 25, and that's when male brains get fully formed.
Okay.
And then that January, I always like to do like, hey, I want to have like a couple goals for the year that I'm working on. And then when I thought back, I was like, yo, these goals are like, I feel like I'm like, actually, my feet are actually planted on the ground. And these goals are not because of anybody else's influence on me, but they're actually coming from within me.
Okay.
And so the feeling is like similar to you, which is
Oh yeah, like
no
how
one's.
how I was saying like, oh, I'm gonna miss not having a syllabus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so your direction came from your brain being fully formed, but also you working with lots of different generations.
Yeah. That even helped me like to go back to just different generations. It really helped me understand. Like I used to get in some like around college time, I would get in fights with my mom and be like, "Why are you telling me these things in this tone?" And then through talking to more people her age.
Yeah, like, oh, that's just the tone.
Yes! Oh my god! I literally like a few years ago like was like apologized to her about it. I was like, "Mommy, you were right. I mean, you are using a tone, but you can't see it." And she was just like, "What?" Like, I still don't think she understands why I apologize to her.
I love that. Oh my god, that's so great. But that's so true though, because like if you go back to like the 20s, no, probably even earlier than that, the late 1800s, you hear people on the radio, they're like, hey, yeah, they're going to talk about like this. They're going to,
Yeah, and we'd be like, ew, why are you talking like that?
Why are you talking like your mustaches are curly? What's going on over here?
Exactly. Like every generation has like a way they talk. Like,
yep.
Whew.
Yeah, okay. That's cool though. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I reincarnation is an interesting one for me.
Yeah, and
I've had multiple conversations with multiple people.
Yeah.
And some folks just believe that their energy goes, well, obviously our energy goes somewhere.
Yeah.
Just a couple days ago, my mom sent me a video of someone saying that there was like a Russian scientist. Of course, they're Russian scientists. Dun, dun, dun.
Cold War.
Yeah. But the Russian scientists were able to
please tell me it's capture a soul in an amulet.
Pretty close.
Oh, stop.
It's pretty damn close that they were able to imprint code onto DNA.
Okay.
And so
I feel like I remember.
And so once they passed on, they were able to track the code of where their DNA energy went, and they followed the code because it was connected to a computer. They followed the code and it went to like a different galaxy way so far away. And they were able to like geolocate. I don't know what's the word. I can't remember the word, but they were able to find that location of where exactly it went. And it was like in a completely different galaxy. It didn't just like disappear, it just like shot over there.
I hope all those Civil War ghosts are actually in that galaxy and not hanging out at the Appomattox battlefield.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and so I was like, "That's cool," but before they were able to locate it, it was super hard for them to find it because it was moving. The energy was moving so quickly.
Like bing, 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 bing.
It was like, and then
machine.
they were finally able to like locate it.
Your mom sent you that?
Yeah, she's fun.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is cool. But I mean, with what you were saying too, like, I'm just going back to the idea of like, you have this one experience. You do have this one experience as you right now.
Yeah.
Like, so
exactly.
Yeah, that should be something you strive to not perfect, but enjoy. I'm also, I feel like this might be a fad term, but I really consider myself a positive nihilist almost. Like,
never heard that phrase before.
Really? Okay. So, basically, I saw this meme once, and it was positive nihilism versus regular nihilism, and it was like a ancient Grecian mosaic of a like a ha and a huh, you know, like a drama faces.
Yep.
And it said positive nihilism and it was like, we're all gonna die, so why not? And then the regular nihilism, we're all gonna die, so why bother?
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, that. I mean, we are all gonna die, but you gotta know how to have fun, or else you're gonna be so mad the entire time, and then I'm gonna hate you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean that's for me, I'm always looking for the fun in every situation, which gets me in trouble.
Oh yes. Either
Gets
gets you in trouble or it gets people mad at you.
Yeah, that or for just personally gets me in trouble because I always want to do the fun thing. And for the 10 years that I was working all the time, I always did I did what I needed to then versus what I wanted to do most.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do most was ultimately is going to get me the most fun, but I didn't have fun in the process for like a very long time. And so I was just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not doing that anymore.
Oh.
And now I need to find and so now I'm in the place of like finding the balance.
Literally just segued into my other motto that I wrote down.
Beautiful.
And it is, you can always stop when it stops being fun.
Yeah. That's
And like,
yes.
But sometimes it's hard to recognize when it has stopped being fun.
Especially in a relationship.
Yes. And like, I used to do too much cocaine, and it took me a long time to realize this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you stopped.
Thanks.
Before it got super dangerous.
Exactly.
Yep.
What a nuisance. But
who to blame on that one? That's another 3-hour conversation.
the cartel.
Yeah. Called the U.S. government. Yeah. Don't come for me. I like y'all. Thank you for keeping me safe. Yeah, but yeah, that's the stop when things stop being fun, because when things in this world, I'm all about this, like, now going after the thing that I want to, which is being an entertainer and trying to make money. So it's just like, let's go after the thing that's fun in the midst of that process.
Yes. Like, I wrote down lax hedonism with a sprinkle of rationality.
Okay.
And balance in the background. But balance doesn't have to be in the background. It can be more, it's more just like a constant. Not necessarily in the background. Balance is all around. So
Yeah.
balance is always there for you.
If you're in the midst of it, yeah. If you're looking for it, it can be. I want to hear your song.
Okay. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Okay, can I briefly explain how excuse me, microphone. Because remember I told you I was down to 2.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. I've
yes.
drank a lot of liquid today. So we're gonna pause real quick.
Okay. Yes.
And then we're gonna come back and listen to that.
Is that your room?
And we're back. Yeah. I'm trying to hydrate more, and my bladder is not used to not used to holding all this liquid. As you can see, my giant bottle of water. I'm trying to do a bunch of it.
Yeah, I've been carrying around the Stanley for a little bit now.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, song. So
yeah, so you had 2.
I had 2, and the funny thing is I didn't even pick one of those 2.
Oh my gosh, hilarious.
So I like K-pop.
Yeah.
So fast-paced, dance-centric bubblegum pop has always been something I've been interested in.
Give me an example.
So when I was in early elementary school, I liked the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears and like the Now CDs. And
the Now CDs. Oh my goodness.
Now 6 was my first one, my favorite one.
Holy smokes.
But I also in late middle school, early high school realized I loved 80s disco, like specifically like European disco from the 80s, or like the high energy genre, like Pet Shop Boys, stuff like that. And also in high school, I realized I liked dance-centric Southern hip hop because they usually had like the best danceable hooks and things to me out of
Dance
all
centric hip hop.
like Ti or
Oh,
like
okay, gotcha.
Louisiana stuff like give me a hot boy, I'm a hot boy. That
Mm-hmm.
song. Stuff like that.
What about like Pitbull? Would you consider him being in that?
He's newer, but when it comes to Florida stuff, I typically like. Well, this leads into one of the songs. I don't. Have you ever heard of the rap group Two Live Crew?
I've heard the name.
All right,
I
they
wouldn't
did
be
the
able to
song
pull out
"Me
any
So
of those.
Horny,"
Oh.
but they
That's such a funny name.
they're right. Their genre is called Miami bass, and it's like a lot of very fast bass sound within the hip hop. And but I got obsessed with Two Live Crew in college, and it actually inspired my senior painting portraits. Like I did these naked guys, and like, oh gosh, I was so into like very aggressive, like hear me I feel like Two Live Crew really like spearheaded me into that direction. But my favorite Two Live Crew song is called Dick Almighty.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm gonna pick this, and then I was like, wait, no. But okay, well that was the one, and then I was like, oh, that's a little R-rated. Like that doesn't really represent my entirety of me, because I feel like I don't curse. I'm very like
Right.
And so then my other favorite song for a long time was the Six Flags song, like dun 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 dun.
Okay,
well,
I was like,
it's actually the Venga Boys, but everyone in America calls it the Six Flags song.
I was wondering if it's like the actual Six Flags, like the theme park. But yeah, okay,
yeah. But so I was like, those were the two songs I boiled it down to, and then I was like, wait, I can't like. Are we gonna play the song?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So we'll play it. We'll listen to it, and then I have some fun things afterwards.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So I was just like worried that if I picked that one of those, like specifically the Two Live Crew song, that it would be too much cursing and it would get you taken off YouTube. But
yeah, we don't play the song for the audience.
Okay,
we just put the link
cool.
in the description just
Beautiful.
because of
because
of the copyrights. Yeah,
we could have just done that anyways. Though.
Yeah.
But I thought long and hard about it, and the song that
Ironic.
I have gone with is actually a song that was my favorite song when I was like really young. And when I was really young, my parents I listened to their music and a lot of classical music because that's what they had and that's what they deemed like appropriate for me. They'd be like, you can listen to this, it's like Mozart. I'm like, oh cool. And I would listen to it and I would dance to it like in the living room. But Beethoven was actually like my favorite artist back then, just because he did have some more intense sounding things.
Do you listen to Zed at all?
Is that's like a
He's an EDM artist.
Yeah.
So
I
learned from like a couple episodes ago. He does a lot of the same things that Beethoven does in his. Yeah, he's classically trained, and so yeah, you would love Zed.
Okay, well,
yeah,
check it out.
Yeah. So what I've learned is that in the minor and major scales, there's a couple crossovers. And so you can pull something from a minor scale and throw it into a major scale.
And
and it causes and it causes a completely different. It has like it's very coherent, but it has like this weird dissonance to it,
like a haunting kind of layer to it.
Yeah, there's like a deep undertone, like a feeling that's a deep undertone, and I've never been able to explain it until I talked to one of my friends who Zed's his favorite artist, and he was on the podcast, and I was like. Because that was one of his songs, was one of Zed's newest songs. And I was like, yep, this is definitely Zed's song. And I was like, it's because like Zed has like this bedrock to his music. Okay. And he's like, oh, that's just because of and it's because he said this whole like music theory thing. And I was like, I know music theory. I'm just kidding. But just by colors and pictures. But
yeah, right. Oh god, it's crazy when you learn this intense layers behind something.
Yeah,
I should check that out because I like Beethoven back then. I didn't know exactly like back then. I would say Beethoven's my favorite because I liked the way it sounded, not because I knew what was going on. Like, I mean, I took piano for 12 years, and I still wouldn't consider myself advanced enough to know how to explain that. But yeah, I know what you're saying, at least from a terminological standpoint. But yeah, my favorite song, which I picked for this, is the Turkish March by Beethoven.
Love it. Don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
Maybe I know it, just don't know the name.
it's part of here, let me pull up the actual name of it. It's from like a bigger, well, everything back then was part of a bigger movement.
Mhm.
But I put it in this playlist so I could have easy access to it. Come here.
We'll play it on the computer.
Okay.
Turkish March by Beethoven. So you said?
Mm-hmm.
We said a bunch of names, Mozart and all that. So Turkish March, Beethoven. Link will be in the description, and we will be right back.
And that's it.
And we're back. That was so cool.
Yeah.
That was super quick.
Yeah, it's only like 2 minutes, 11 seconds.
That's crazy.
It's like a punk song.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you only get a certain amount.
But like that was my favorite song up until I started listening to secular music, as you would call it.
Yeah.
Like, but I would put that song on and dance to it like crazy at home. And I realized I've always been seeking dance-centric, fast-paced pop music because it's like that.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to be like, oh God.
Yeah, so you don't know this about me, but
I'm about to.
yes, you will. So when I hear music, I see colors and pictures.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
it's so fun. And so that's one of the reasons why I have this podcast. And
Okay.
it's super like selfish, but also.
Hey, I mean, I thought about that about a million things I've said tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. But so I love it when people bring music that I have never heard before. Because it puts me in a new realm for however long the time frame is. And so as soon as I heard it, I started seeing like pastel, like pinks and blues and yellows. And it immediately put me in like Alice in Wonderland.
Cool.
And so I was just in the Alice in Wonderland world for,
This is fun.
yeah, like, and I don't know if they've ever used it for any of their movies or anything, but I was just like the chaos of, and the quirkiness, the whimsical is a great word for it.
Whimsical, fun, and explosions.
Yeah. Yeah, and like
exciting.
it's like the quirkiness of it, of just being like, hey, we're gonna play croquet, but not with mallets, with flamingos.
With flamingo.
Yeah, and it's just
and
like
the ball's gonna be a hamster.
right, exactly, and it's just like how that song was like there was like an element to it that was like, here's the solid bass to it, but then you had like that random dinging sound on the top, like in the random
And
that was going on, and it was like, okay, this is not like a normal symphony piece.
It's like and that's something I look for in like if there's a K-pop song, if it has like a weird little sound in it that's like ringing throughout the back, like
Yeah.
it'll make me love that K-pop song. And then like something that I like forgot until I hadn't listened to this song in probably a few years before I thought of it to bring to this, and when I listened to it, I forgot that it ended so quietly.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, ooh, after it's so intense. You play that thing loud in the car. Oh, it's like the best experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the surround sound downstairs.
Yeah. He has another song. So I actually like after I like picked this one, I Googled like songs similar to this, and he has another song from I think the same like work of big songs that went with it. But it did not sound nearly as good. Like I was like, oh God! Like it had singing and weird shrill like shrieking, and I was like, how is this Beethoven? Oh,
Yeah, I didn't know that Beethoven had any like lyrics involved
he
in
has
any
some
of.
singing in some of his stuff, but it's not in whatever. He was Austrian. It might be an Austrian.
Your guess is as good as mine. All I know is I think he was the deaf one, right? Yeah, which is also insanity that he created that much masterpiece. And he just did it by theory instead of. He probably could feel it.
Yeah, I think there's something where it's like he like would bite on this thing that was connected to the piano so he could like feel it as he was. But I'm like, that doesn't make you hear the tone. It just makes you hear the vibration. But I guess you would be able to interpret the vibration as the tone.
I mean, that's all our ears are doing.
Yeah, look at me. I'm over here dissecting it for myself as I say it. Yes, actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's all our ears are doing, are just little
You're
drums.
right.
little drums inside our weird appendages on our
He
side of
just
our
had
heads.
to jerry rig it himself.
Yeah, yeah. And who knows? Maybe was the same way. Maybe was a synesthetic, and he could see.
Oh, is that the color thing?
That's the color
Okay.
thing. I'm not. I don't necessarily know if I'm that way, but I
mean,
definitely.
If you're experiencing it, that's
Yeah.
good enough.
For sure. But like I don't know if I'm like technically that, because for me it's more is more just like music videos and like realms I go into,
Okay.
which is so much fun. So when anybody gives me any kind of new music, I'm like, ooh, I get to travel.
Experience this new thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's fun.
yeah. And so when people give me new music, it's like, oh, you're giving me a piece of a place that you've been, but in reality, most likely they are not experiencing it the way that I'm experiencing it, which is so sad. But
Oh gosh, well, I definitely identify with the whimsical explosion because, like, I do remember when I used to dance back then, like in my living room as a very small child. Like, I would like close my eyes a lot, almost instill like, almost to not make myself dizzy, but like I like just like closing my eyes just to like feel emotion type stuff. So there's a lot of that going on.
yeah. I mean, if you close your eyes, you can experience a different. It takes away one sensory here, and so then you can experience the music at a different amplitude, I guess.
Yeah, just a slightly altered reality of sorts.
Yeah, that's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun.
Good. And once again, if people are still listening to this all the way to the end, how can they find you again?
On Instagram, I am at banana.2nsnail. So banana nail on Instagram. And Metal Bubble is my Instagram for my fan art. And that's really the social media I have that I share with people. So
Sweet. And you deep dive into the things that she doesn't share with people. I'm just kidding.
No, I just like I have just other social medias that I just don't post on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, we all have those ones.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks again once again for coming on, and I had a blast.
Me too.
And
me too. It's great to get to know you.
Yeah. And we'll see
We'll
y'all.
have to have a double haircut with Taylor.
She would be. She said she doesn't double book anymore. So.
Well, just she can wait.
Yeah.
Coming for you, Taylor. I just mess around. Anyways, thank you.
See y'all in 2 weeks.